Chapter 119. This place is so desolate, and I can't feel the slightest bit of vitality. Princess Mo Hen walked beside Xiaofan carefully with a nervous expression. However, her bright and beautiful eyes were filled with a lot of relief and happiness. That's right. If she didn't meet Xiaofan, this supreme man, when she was praying to the gods, then Princess Mo Hen would have been married to the eastern region without any suspense. Or perhaps, she would have been killed by the fiendish Nan Gongyi on the way. Thus, even though she was in the mysterious and dangerous Great Wilderness, for Princess Mo Hen, it was definitely better than any other result or any other place. Moreover, the strongest man in her heart was by her side to protect her. Thus, Princess Mo Hen was not afraid. She was even more accepting of the Great Wilderness than Hu Chenghe and the other family members. Don't be afraid. My de Shixiang is here. He is familiar with the Great Wilderness and will deal with all kinds of dangers. Xiaofan comforted Princess Mo Hen. At this time, Xiaofan saw that the ground under his feet was filled with crisscrossing cracks and dried-up ravines. It was a ghastly sight. Along the way, there were more and more strange stones that were as black as iron and emitted cold light. A black stone that was half a zhang tall was erected in front of Xiaofan, blocking the way. Xiaofan did not take a detour. Instead, he stretched out his hand and pushed, wanting to push that black stone away. Unexpectedly, it didn't move an inch. Xiaofan's flesh had 1500 ding of pure strength. It could be said that with a flick of his finger, he could shatter a huge stone. But now, when he pushed with all his strength, he actually couldn't move a black stone. What? How is this possible? Xiaofan was shocked. He immediately took a deep breath and pushed both of his palms out. All the muscles and bones in his body resonated and shone with golden light. Indistinctly, the sound of wind and thunder and tides surged up. All the muscles, bones, and skin were stretched out and the strength of his body was pushed to the extreme. This push. He actually only managed to move the black stone by 1.5 feet. This black stone is so heavy. Even if it's made of metal, it can't be so heavy. Xiaofan was getting more and more surprised. His whole body was flowing with light and with the support of true qi, he was able to lift the black stone. Unbelievable. It's at least 2000 ding. Xiaofan gasped. Alright, junior brother Xiaofan, stop playing around. These blackstones are extremely heavy to begin with. Let's hurry, we're almost at the ancient village, Xiao Mingqiu urged. Then, Xiao Mingqiu ordered the princess's servants to leave the carriages filled with top-grade true qi spiritual stones here. Don't bring it to the ancient village. After Xiaofan had lived in the ancient village for 1.5 years, he would come out to collect it. No human or other creatures would come here. It was isolated from the outside world, so there was no need to worry about these top-grade true qi spirit stones being lost or stolen. They continued on their way. 2 hours later, my true acupoint seems to have been sealed by some mysterious and terrifying power. Hu Chenghe screamed. I can't even use a single strand of zhenqi. My true acupoint has been sealed so tightly that it has lost connection with my soul. The other true qi realm guards also cried out in panic, feeling extremely fearful and uneasy. Eldest senior brother, my true acupoint has also been sealed. Xiaofan calmed down slightly. He told Xiao Mingqiu. Don't be afraid. The ancient village is very mysterious. It's normal for a low-level zhenqi realm cultivator to have their acupoints sealed in the ancient village. Many years ago, when I first came to the ancient village, my true acupoint was sealed just like all of you. Only after reaching the 5th level of zhenqi realm will I not be restricted and sealed, Xiao Mingqiu said with a smile. Xiaofan did not ask any more questions. They walked for another 2 hours. Finally, a village appeared in front of them. This was an ancient village. The houses were all made of stone. It was the kind of extremely heavy black stone, not ordinary rock. Even the ground of the village was paved with strange black stones. The stone houses in the ancient village were built in a simple and rough style, close to nature. At this time, there were hundreds of villagers doing their own things. A large group of children were playing and chasing each other, running wildly in the village. They ran very fast, like cheetahs. The adult men in the village were all very muscular. They were bare-chested, revealing smooth lines and round muscles that were full of explosive power. Their skin was slightly dark. They were doing very terrifying things. Xiaofan saw that most of the adult men were using sharpened black stones to dismember wild beasts. A few feet long, wolf-like wild beast, a few feet long swan bird, and a few feet tall black bear. The men were dismembering the wild beasts like a butcher. They skillfully skinned, removed the meat, and removed the bones. It was as if they were dissecting chickens and ducks. Those wild beasts and swan birds all emitted a violent and ancient aura. They were actually killed by the villagers. The women in the village were helping the men, cutting the meat of the wild beasts and swan into small pieces and hanging them under the eaves of the houses to dry. The villagers were all wearing rough black clothes. They looked very thick, but it was hard to tell what kind of material they were made of. This village seemed to have existed for countless years. The villagers all had very sincere smiles on their faces. There was no trace of deceit or shrewdness in their eyes. Big Brother Mingchu. Big Brother Mingchu is back. Big Brother Mingchu brought a lot of people with him. Big Brother Mingchu, I hunted a mad rhinoceros yesterday. I kept its bones for Big Brother Mingchu to chisel them into bone arrows. Big Brother Mingchu, I also hunted a big bird. A group of children were running and laughing in the village. The oldest was not even 10 years old and the youngest was only 2 or 3 years old. When they saw Xiao Mingchu, they all ran out of the village to welcome him. Their attitude was very intimate. Xiaofan heard a 5 or 6 years old child wearing open-crotch pants with a runny nose say that he hunted a mad rhinoceros yesterday. Xiaofan felt that it was a little unbelievable. Hey! Junior Martial Brother Xiaofan, the people of the ancient village are born with extraordinary talent. When they are young, they can become tyrannical hunters in the great wilderness and hunt wild beasts for food, Xiao Mingchu explained. At this moment, bang! 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 Once those children came out of the village, Xiaofan and the others suddenly felt a hurricane rushing towards them. It was as if it was not a group of children rushing towards them, but a group of giant beasts. It was a terrifying feeling as if there were 10,000 horses galloping. The children trampled on the ground until it was broken into pieces and surrounded Xiao Mingchu. What? When these children were in the village, they felt that it was very normal. Why is it that once they left the village, each of their strength and speed? All of them increased explosively. Each of them has a wild vitality and vigorous blood qi. When they left the village, it was as if they were flying. In the blink of an eye, they flashed to eldest martial brother's side. Xiaofan completely did not understand the situation. Alright, stop fooling around. Go back and prepare some clothes. There are guests coming. Let the guests wear the village clothes. Go quickly. This time, Big Brother Mingchu hunted a flame swan. It's enough for you to eat. Xiao Mingchu laughed and scolded. Wow! The flame swan is a very strong bird. We are still young and can't kill it. It tastes very delicious. Big Brother Mingchu, I want to eat the breast meat of the flame swan. That is the most delicate essence. A 7 or 8-year-old child said while drooling. Go and take out the clothes first. Xiao Mingchu patted the child's head. A group of children rushed into the village and took out the black rough clothes that the villagers wore. Xiao Mingchu took a black robe and put it on. Then, he said to Xiaofan and the others. Each of you take a piece of clothing and put it on. He hesitated for a moment. Xiaofan and the others began to pick out the clothes that suited them from the pile on the ground and put them on. A group of children blinked their curious eyes and looked at Xiaofan and the other uninvited guests. After changing their clothes, enter the village. You can stay in the ancient village for 2 years. The people of the ancient village are isolated from the rest of the world. However, they are kind, simple, and hospitable. As long as you do not deceive them, they will welcome you. There are many unused stone houses in the village. You can also stay here. Xiao Mingchu said to the princess and his family members. A group of children led the way in front. Xiao Mingchu's face was filled with the joy of returning home. He brought Xiaohan and the others into the village like a swarm of bees. Ah! Mingchu, there are guests. Mingchu, did you let them drink from the lake? Don't forget. Be careful. Mingchu, our ancient village is going to be lively again. The villagers all stood up to welcome them. Their attitude towards Xiao Mingchu was as intimate as family. A group of people finally entered the mysterious ancient village. At this moment. What? What's going on? Suddenly, Xiaohan felt that as soon as he entered the village, his whole body was covered by a very terrifying pressure. It was as if there was a mountain pressing down on his head. This kind of pressure was very terrifying. It was not just the pressure on his body. Even his blood vessels, heart, cells, brain, bones, liver, spleen, and stomach were all being squeezed crazily. Even his soul was being crushed and obliterated. Xiaohan instantly had a terrible feeling that his body was about to be crushed and explode. Buzz! 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 Just as Xiaohan was about to be unable to bear it, the indestructible golden body in his body surged. His golden bones shone brightly and bone texts appeared. Fortunately, Xiaohan was able to withstand the crazy pressure of the exploding body. However, he was still suffocating and could not move anymore. Phew! Xiaohan let out a turbid breath and looked up. Bang! 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 With a few loud noises, among the princess's family members, a few guards at the physical body realm and a few maids instantly exploded into blood mist. Not even their bones were left. A few black clothes fell to the ground. Mingchu! You forgot to let them drink a liter of the lake water. A strong man stamped his feet and said. Previously, I told you to drink a liter of the lake water. Otherwise, you will die immediately after entering the ancient village. It seems that some people are not obedient. Xiao Mingchu said lazily. However, if they die, they die. They only have themselves to blame. Right, let me tell you now. The mysterious thing about this ancient village is that the gravity in the village is several times, even tens of times, or even hundreds of times stronger than other places. If you don't drink a liter of the lake water, most people will be instantly crushed and turned into ashes when they enter the ancient village. Alright, go with the villagers. They will help you settle down. What? If we didn't drink enough of the stinky lake water, we would be crushed now. So scary. The princess and her family members looked at each other in dismay. However, after drinking the stinky lake water, they were no different from usual in the village. They were not affected by the terrible gravity and could walk freely. Big sister, you are so beautiful. A 5 or 6-year-old little girl pulled Princess Mo Hen and said obediently. The villagers displayed an extremely kind and hospitable character. Soon, they brought Princess Mo Hen and her family members to an empty stone house and took out some cured meat to share with the guests. Princess Mo Hen kept looking back at Xiaohan, who was standing at the entrance of the village. Her eyes were filled with worry. However, she was pulled away by several women in the village. I can't move. Xiaohan stood in the same place and was unable to move. Xiaohan's tyrannical physical body prevented him from being crushed by the gravity. The vigorous vitality brought by the indestructible golden body protected Xiaofan's blood vessels, cells, and organs from being crushed. However, this was already his limit. He couldn't move now. Junior brother Xiaofan, now you know why I brought you to the ancient village, right? Xiao Mingqiu leisurely walked over and stood beside Xiaofan. The gravity here will not only crush your flesh shell, but it will also squeeze your organs. Even your thoughts and soul will be tempered. If you can stay in this ancient village. Running and playing like those children meant that your physical body was already strong enough. When you left the ancient village, you would be like a giant beast. They possessed terrifying physical strength, inextinguishable vitality, speed, explosive power, and the ability to think. Even their souls would be sharp, flawless, and flawless. Your true acupoint has been sealed. However, this doesn't matter. The day you leave the ancient village, the seal will be removed. At that time, your physical body will be like a wild beast. When the time comes, let's see how many true acupoints you can open. I stayed in the ancient village for a year and a half. You don't have to deliberately cultivate, you just have to adapt to life here, Xiao Mingqiu said with a smile. Junior brother Xiaofan, you're standing at the entrance of the village. The gravity here is slightly weaker. The further you go into the village, the stronger the gravity will be. Get used to life here. Eldest senior brother. I can't even move right now. Xiaofan's face was filled with a bitter smile. He looked at the little brats running as if they were flying in the village and said in horror. Eldest senior brother, are these children born like this? Yes, they live in the ancient village and grow and rest under the terrifying gravity. Every child, once they leave the ancient village, will have the power to hunt and kill ordinary wild beasts alone. When they jump, they will be 100 meters high and can smash low-flying yuan birds to death. Xiao Mingqiu laughed. Alright, junior brother Xiaofan, slowly get used to it. It will get better. When I first came to the ancient village, I was almost the same as you. Ha ha ha. Look at me now. I don't drink the stinky lake water and can still move freely in the ancient village. Look, I can even jump. Xiao Mingqiu, without using his true qi, was able to display an astonishing amount of strength in front of Xiaofan. He was actually able to jump 10 meters high. This was done under the terrifying pressure. It was enough to raise eyebrows. Alright. Eldest senior brother, I will definitely not let you down. I will chase and jump in this ancient village like those children. Xiaofan gritted his teeth and said. Work hard. The hex trial in 2 years is waiting for you. Xiao Mingqiu yawned and turned around weakly. Junior brother Xiaofan, take your time to get used to it. I'm going to sleep first. Xiao Mingqiu no longer said anything to Xiaofan. He turned around and walked towards a stone house. Hey, junior brother Xiaofan, it took me 3 years to get used to the life in the ancient village. What about you? Xiao Mingqiu's heart was also full of expectations and wishes. He hoped that Xiaofan could adapt to the life here day by day and become stronger. Calm down. Calm down. I must calm down. Xiaofan took a deep breath and the indestructible golden body in his body kept rushing. Rays of golden light appeared on the surface of his body, helping Xiaofan resist the pressure from the inside out. I have to take a step and see. Xiaofan tried to lift his right leg. 10 breaths later, finally. Xiaofan lifted his right leg 10 inches above the ground. However, this usually effortless action now consumed all of Xiaofan's strength. Bang! Xiaofan's leg landed heavily on the ground. His face was full of sweat. Adapt. Adapt. I must adapt to the life here. Xiaofan closed his eyes and began to visualize the first 50 movements of the indestructible golden body. At noon, it was time to eat. The village was filled with the smell of barbecued meat and the rich aroma of cooked animal milk. The villagers gathered in the big dam of the village, drinking big bowls of animal milk and eating big mouthfuls of animal meat. The women of the village were even dancing to liven up the atmosphere. Princess Mo Hen and her family had quickly integrated into this circle. They danced, laughed, and chatted with the villagers. A group of wimpy children liked Princess Mo Hen very much. They pestered her and asked her to tell them stories. Xiaofan was still standing at the entrance of the village. He smelled the fragrance of meat and milk. His stomach growled and he swallowed his saliva. He also wanted to go over and eat heartily, but he really could not move. At this time, when the indestructible golden body was resisting the heavy pressure, it actually produced some power. Xiaohan's heart moved. His physical strength was quietly increasing. His bones and internal organs were also gradually turning golden. The bone text became clearer and more obvious. Xiaofan. Princess Mo Hen ran over, holding a jar of animal milk and a piece of roasted golden animal meat. Lunch, here. 17. Xiaofan said with difficulty. I can't move my hand. Xiaofan raised his right hand with difficulty. However, after a few inches, it drooped down powerlessly. Princess Mo Hen's pretty face slightly blushed. She immediately approached Xiaofan and carefully brought the animal milk in the stone jar to Xiaohan's mouth. Oh! Xiaofan was also a little embarrassed. However, his will could not resist the fragrance of the animal milk. After drinking a jar of animal milk, Princess Mo Hen personally tore the animal meat into strips and fed them to Xiaohan's mouth. Her service was very thoughtful. Xiaofan, we drank the stinky lake water, so we can move freely. Otherwise. Princess Mo Hen looked back and then whispered in Xiaohan's ear. I will go out and get you a few bags of stinky lake water. After you drink it, you will be like us. That won't do. Xiaofan flatly refused. 17. I want to adapt to the village life by myself. I will not drink the lake water. This is cultivation. Tempering the shell, internal organs, and flesh. It can even temper my soul, which is a great help. 2 years later, I will become a demon hero. You can definitely do it. Princess Mo Hen clenched her fist. You are the strongest man that God gave to Mo Hen. What did you say? What God? Xiaofan was stunned. No. Mo Hen didn't say anything. Princess Mo Hen was so flustered that her ears turned red. She turned around and ran away. Several hours passed. The sky gradually darkened. Bang! Finally, Xiaofan could take a big step horizontally. I can finally move. Xiaofan wiped the sweat on his forehead and felt a little gratified in his heart. At night. Xiaofan could not lie down, so he stood there and closed his eyes to sleep. Early the next morning. Princess Mo Hen's face was red. She shyly came to feed Xiaofan the animal milk and mumbled. Xiaofan, this animal milk is said to be squeezed out from a female beast with Pai Xiu bloodline. It is cooked with special herbs. Drinking it often can strengthen the muscles and bones and increase strength. At this time, a large group of children followed Xiao Mingchu out of the village to hunt. Big brother Xiaofan, big brother Mingchu said that you will play with us in the future. You have to work hard. A 4 or 5-year-old boy said to Xiaofan with a smile. Yes, I will. Xiaofan nodded his head heavily. Chapter 120. Just like this, Xiaofan stayed in the great desolation ancient village. He tried his best to blend into the villagers' lives. The gravity here was several times, 10 times, or even 100 times stronger than the outside world. It pressed down on the human body, internal organs, blood vessels, cells, and even the mind and soul. Xiao Mingchu and the kids returned to the village from their hunt and brought back some huge beasts, such as a black one that was over 100 feet long and a tiger-like beast that was over 20 feet long. Junior brother Xiaofan, how is it? Xiao Mingchu walked over and asked Xiaofan, who was standing like a wooden stake. Eldest senior brother, today I can take a big step horizontally. Xiaofan took a leap and covered a distance of more than a meter. Not bad. Continue to work hard. Xiao Mingchu smiled and patted Xiaofan's shoulder, almost causing him to fall. He staggered and stood up with difficulty. The villagers began to dismember their prey. Now that there were more than 1,000 people in the village who needed to open their mouths to eat, the villagers were even busier than usual. However, they were extremely simple and did not complain. Xiao Mingchu sat on a stone stool, using a sharpened black stone to carve runes on a bone arrow. Streams of light flowed around the bone arrow, and the bone arrow emitted a dazzling golden light, looking extremely mystical. Who? Xiaofan let out a mouthful of turbid air. I didn't expect that under this kind of pressure, the indestructible golden body would not be destroyed. Instead, it gave birth to new energy and constantly nourished my bones, blood, and organs. It even strengthened every cell and thickened the walls of my blood vessels. It seems that eldest senior brother brought me to this ancient village to develop my body's potential to the greatest extent. Now, the indestructible golden body had become Xiaofan's reliance in this ancient village. It made him more eager than ever to study this strange technique. Big brother Mingchu. Why is there a golden light flashing on big brother Xiaofan's body? A few kids saw the golden light on Xiaofan's body and curiously ran over to ask Xiao Mingchu. Xiao Mingchu raised his lazy eyes and glanced at Xiaofan as he murmured to himself. Junior brother Xiaofan's body refining technique is truly tyrannical. During lunchtime, Princess Mo Hen brought roasted meat and beast milk to Xiaofan. She also filled a jar of fresh beast blood for Xiaofan to drink. Xiaofan, this is the blood of the black Luan. It can strengthen one's foundation and is like a precious medicine. You should drink it. Alright, Xiaofan thought to himself. He really did need some nourishment. The phoenix blood shone with golden light. The color was extremely gorgeous, translucent like a red agate, and it emitted a simple aura of the desolate plains. Princess Mo Hen helped Xiaofan drink the Luan blood. The moment the phoenix blood entered his mouth, Xiaofan felt a ball of fire rush up his throat. Xiaofan even felt the miserable cries of a Luan bursting out from his chest and abdomen. The Luan blood was quickly suppressed by his physical body and refined into beams of dazzling divine light, fusing into Xiaofan's bones, organs, and cells. My physical strength has increased by around 2 cauldrons? Xiaofan was both surprised and overjoyed as he licked his lips. 17, this phoenix blood is not bad. Give me some more. Princess Mo Hen covered her mouth and smiled. This is precious blood, the villagers all cherish it very much. They usually give it to the children to drink. Fortunately, those children like me very much. Wait a moment, I'll go get it for you. Princess Mo Hen also asked for a jar of Luan blood. He helped Xiaofan drink it. 10 days had passed. After continuously cultivating the indestructible golden body, coupled with the nourishment from the precious blood and beast milk, Xiaofan's physical strength had reached 2,500 cauldrons. Finally, Xiaofan could stay in the outer area of the ancient village where the pressure was smaller. He could walk normally. Eldest senior brother, this little brother has completely adapted to the pressure here. I don't feel that my steps are heavy and I can't walk anymore. Xiaofan walked while smiling at Xiao Mingchu, who was sitting on a stone bench. Xiao Mingchu raised his eyes and looked at Xiaofan as he said indifferently, just walking is not enough. You need to run at full speed. 1 month later. Bang! 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 Xiaofan madly ran in circles at the entrance of the village. Trampling on the ground, he completely ignored the pressure in this area and ran as fast as lightning like a leopard or a wolf. Boom! Xiaofan not only ran but also jumped. He could jump close to 10 meters high from the ground and jump 10 meters away from the same spot. Alright, junior brother Xiaofan, enter the 20x gravity area. Xiao Mingchu looked at Xiaofan's eyes and finally revealed some appreciation and gratification. He asked Xiaofan to move more than 10 meters from the entrance of the village. 20x gravity area. After entering the 20x gravity area, Xiaofan could not be arrogant anymore. He was suppressed by the gravity to the point that he was panting like a bull and did not move an inch. Just lifting a finger took a lot of effort. Moving half a meter would completely exhaust his physical strength. But this time, Xiaofan had experience and was no longer flustered. He quietly cultivated the indestructible golden body and drank precious blood every day. In order to help Xiaofan adapt to the life in the ancient village, Xiao Mingchu would go out to hunt every day. He would always bring back huge ferocious beasts and Luan corpses and squeeze out fresh precious blood for Xiaofan to drink. 3 months later, Xiaofan had completely adapted to the 20x gravity area. With a casual movement of his body, he could move a few meters forward. Thick golden clouds rolled and rolled, mixed with ancient bone inscriptions, making Xiaofan feel as if he was bathed in a miracle. The more he cultivated the indestructible golden body, the more profound it became. The strength of his flesh had broken through to 3,000 ding. Moreover, it was not only his flesh that had increased in strength. Even his bones, blood, organs, cells, and blood vessels were many times stronger. Xiao Mingchu looked at Xiaofan with more and more admiration. This kid is improving very fast. It has far exceeded my expectations. In fact, his performance is even more outstanding than when I first entered the ancient village. It can be said to be perfect. Xiao Mingchu said in his heart. 40x gravity area. 6 months later. Xiaofan did not know how many bottles of precious blood he drank and how many ferocious beasts he had eaten. His flesh strength had increased to 4,000 ding and he conquered the 40x gravity area. 60x gravity area. 9 months later. Xiaofan's flesh strength had increased to 5,000 ding. 60x gravity area. 80x gravity area. 1 year and 2 months. Xiaofan's flesh strength had increased to 6,000 ding. 80x gravity area. 100x gravity area. 100x gravity area was the core area of the ancient village. The strongest pressure. 1.5 years. Xiaofan's flesh strength had increased to 7,000 ding. He had finally conquered the 100x gravity area. One day, bang! 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 Xiaofan was in the center of the ancient village, chasing and playing with a group of kids. Xiaofan took a big step and jumped a few meters, grabbing the collar of a kid. He lifted him up with one hand. Xiaohu, you can't run away, right? TSK, Xiaohu is quite heavy. He's only 7 years old but his body already weighs a few thousand jin. What a small savage beast. Big brother Xiaofan, you run so fast now. We can't even catch up to you. Xiaohu smiled. Xiaohu revealed his cute canine teeth. Xiao Mingchu and the village chief were sitting on a stone bench. Mingchu, little brother Xiaofan has completely adapted to the life in the ancient village. It really wasn't easy. In this 1.5 years, he suffered a lot and tempered his flesh shell day and night. Now, he can finally play with the kids. The old village chief beamed with joy. Once little brother Xiaofan goes out, he will become the strongest hunter in the outer region of the great wilderness. He won't lose to the younger generation of those big tribes. It can be considered a small achievement. At least he's stronger than me back then. I used 3 years to adapt to the life in the ancient village, but little brother Xiaofan only used 1.5 years. Xiao Mingchu was very pleased. But I can't let him be arrogant and complacent. This is to build the foundation. To make up for the inherent gap between him and those geniuses from the ancient countries. Heh. This year's Devil Hero selection competition is very cruel. It is said to be the most cruel in history. I hope little brother Xiaofan can survive. Yes. Those young people from the ancient countries are no different from wild beasts. Their blood qi is overflowing and they can destroy big wands with their bare hands. They can also cultivate true qi. Our ancient village seems to be cursed. The villagers can't open their true meridians. We can only find the ancestral land. Maybe we can solve this problem. The outside world is very exciting. I also want the children in the village to go out and explore. But the premise is that we can find a way for the villagers to open their true meridians and cultivate true qi. Old village chief, Mingchu will do his best. I will help the ancient villagers find the ancestral land. Maybe it is in the depths of the great wilderness. When Mingchu's strength is enough, I will go to the depths of the great wilderness. Xiao Mingchu said very seriously. In the future, when little brother Xiaofan becomes stronger, he will also have the obligation to help the ancient villagers find the ancestral land. After all, he has received the kindness of the ancient villagers. I'm counting on you. The old village chief's smile was very simple. Village chief, you are too polite. Xiao Mingchu quickly said. Big brother, old village chief. Xiaofan played with the children for a while and then sat down on the stone bench. Little brother Xiaofan, you can now go hunting with Mingchu and the children. Your flesh shell is already strong enough and does not lose to the villagers of our ancient village. Moreover, you have cultivated true qi. You can easily hunt fierce wands. The old village chief smiled and patted Xiaofan's shoulder. His attitude was like a happy conversation between an elder and a junior. After living in the ancient village for a year and a half, Xiaofan had already established a close relationship with everyone in the village. The simplicity and kindness of the ancient villagers touched Xiaofan. Big brother, I will go hunting with you tomorrow. Xiaofan said with great interest. For the past year and a half, I am indebted to the care of the ancient villagers. I have not been able to repay them. From tomorrow onwards, I am willing to hunt every day and hunt all kinds of wild beasts for the ancient villagers. Xiao Mingchu looked at Xiaofan and smiled. You are still lacking a bit. Little brother Xiaofan, try jumping. Yes, big brother. Xiaofan stood up and tried his best to jump high and long. Now, Xiaofan could jump 10 feet high and 10 feet far. Junior brother Xiaofan, your pure physical strength has already reached 7,000 cauldrons. However, you are still unable to fully unleash 7,000 cauldrons of strength under 100 times the normal pressure. You still need to temper yourself for a while. Once you are able to unleash 7,000 cauldrons of strength under 100 times the normal pressure, I will bring you out for a hunt and give you a final tempering. This year's Hex Hero trial will begin in half a year. Make the best use of your time. Alright. Big brother, thank you and the ancient villagers for your guidance in the past year and a half. Now, I am no longer afraid of the Hex Hero trial. I am even looking forward to the competition. I also want to see the younger generation of those ancient countries and powerful tribes. Chapter 121. It should be known that under such a huge pressure, it was extremely difficult to produce a trace of new strength. Xiaofan relied on the indestructible golden body, a large amount of precious blood beast milk, and his unyielding will to increase the strength of his flesh shell to 7,000 ding. This was already not a small matter and was enough to move people. Even Xiao Mingchu was full of praise for Xiaofan. Currently, Xiaofan was in the 100 times gravity zone and could not display his full strength to his heart's content. 7,000 ding. Under the interference of the gravity, Xiaofan could display about 5,000 ding of strength. He was still lacking a trace of maturity. He needed to sharpen and improve further. For the next few days, Xiaofan would play and chase with the little kids, and he would tirelessly jump high and long jump high. Finally, after a month, 7,000 ding of strength. Eldest senior brother. I can finally display the maximum strength of my flesh shell under the heavy pressure. Xiaofan was overjoyed. Good. Junior brother Xiaofan, today, I will bring you out to hunt. You have stayed in the ancient village for a year and 7 months and have never left. Today, I will bring you out. Xiao Mingchu was also a little excited. Junior brother Xiaofan, listen carefully. When we get out of the village, something magical will happen to you. I hope you will not panic and stay calm. You must stay calm. Eldest senior brother, will such a miraculous thing happen to me? What is it? Xiaofan asked suspiciously. Let's go. You will know when we get out. Xiao Mingchu deliberately smiled mysteriously. Let's go. Brother Xiaofan, let's go out to hunt. Hunting is a very fun game. A group of kids clustered around Xiaofan and walked out of the village like a swarm of bees. Xiaofan. I will also go with you. Princess Mo Hen also quickly caught up. She tidied up the hair on her temples and smiled sweetly. It has been more than a year. I have never left the village. Hu Chenghe and the others also followed closely behind. Xiao Mingchu seemed to be in a very good mood today. He laughed heartily and said, "All right, let's go out and play. Junior brother Xiaofan, you are responsible for hunting a big one alone today, ha ha ha. All right. Eldest senior brother, watch out. My whole body is full of power now." Xiaofan laughed. Brother Xiaofan, let's race and see who can run out of the village first. Xiaohu smiled mischievously. They rushed to the village entrance first. Little brat. Xiaofan exerted strength in his legs and leaped towards the entrance of the village. With a few leaps, Xiaofan was the first to charge out of the village, ahead of all the other brats. However, just as Xiaofan rushed out of the village, Hong, the air around them trembled. Xiaofan's body was sent flying hundreds of feet away. Wherever it passed, the hurricane caused the ground to crack and shatter. Countless black rocks were blown away and smashed into the ground. What? Young hero Xiaofan left the village. His blood energy surged, and his speed and strength increased by at least dozens of times. He disappeared in a flash. What is going on? Hu Chenghe was shocked. Ha ha ha. Let's go out together. Xiao Mingchu laughed proudly. He led the group out of the village. At this time, Xiaofan, what? All of a sudden, Xiaofan felt that the strength of his body had increased by 100-fold, from 7,000 cauldrons. From 700 ding to 700,000 ding. Every cell in his body was filled with the mighty power of a demon god. Every single strand of his hair was filled with the purest power. His bones were golden and his internal organs were as hard as metal and could not be destroyed. As his blood flowed, a heavy hammering sound could be heard. Xiaofan stood in his original position, his hair fluttering despite the lack of wind. A terrifying invisible force spread out, sweeping in all directions, sending the black boulders flying one after another. Crackling sounds could be heard. Crack. Xiaofan clenched his fists and stepped forward with his right foot. Immediately, a gust of air burst out from his feet and revolved around his feet. The air gathered and did not dissipate. It rotated faster and faster. In an instant, it enveloped his entire body and formed a small tornado. Bang! 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 As Xiaofan strode forward, small tornadoes appeared one after another. These were formed by pure strength, and the ground was torn apart. Some of the smaller black stones were directly blown to ashes. Xiaofan felt that he was a wild beast of the great wilderness. He had the power to topple mountains and overturn the seas, to suppress the heavens, to break through the void, to break through reality and obtain formless power. Roar! Xiaofan let out a loud roar, and a black rock a few meters in front of him that was half a zhang tall started to make cracking sounds. Because of Xiaofan's roar, numerous cracks started to appear on the rock. Boom! Xiaofan punched out. The strength of hundreds of thousands ding exploded. This punch was enough to shake a mountain and break the air in a radius of tens of zhang. The next moment, Xiaofan's feet kicked off and he jumped hundreds of zhang high in an instant. When he landed on the ground, there was a loud, poochie sound. Hundreds of shocking cracks appeared on the black ground in a radius of tens of zhang. Smoke and dust filled the air. Smoke rose everywhere. Princess Mo Hen, Hu Chenghe, and the others were dumbfounded by what they saw. Was this still a human? They were truly savage beasts in human form. Ha ha ha. Junior brother Xiaofan, do you understand what I just said? Once you leave the village, miraculous things will definitely happen to you. You must not panic or get excited. Calm down, calm down. Xiao Mingchu quickly walked up from behind. A group of brats followed him. Brother Xiaofan, you're so strong. Eldest senior brother, my physical strength has increased to 700,000 cauldrons, 100-fold increase. 100 times. Xiaofan's voice trembled. He couldn't believe what was happening to him. Yes, I know. Xiao Mingchu walked over and hugged Xiaofan's shoulders. It's very simple. Junior brother Xiaofan, under the 100-fold gravity of the ancient village, you are still able to unleash 7,000 cauldrons of strength. In that case, if you leave the ancient village and return to a normal environment, your strength, speed, the toughness of your flesh shell, your organs, and even every cell in your body will be greatly enhanced. Everything had increased by 100-fold. Everyone in the village is in the same situation as you. However, your tempering in the ancient village has already reached the limit. You are already able to completely adapt to the 100-fold gravity. Therefore, if you continue to stay in the ancient village to cultivate, the effect will be minimal. The strength of your flesh shell can reach a few 100,000 cauldrons, which is comparable to the younger generation of those ancient desolate countries and mysterious clans in the depths of the great wilderness. It will be a contest of strength. Xiaofan immediately understood Xiao Mingchu's words. Under the 100-fold gravity of the ancient village, he could unleash 7,000 cauldrons of strength. If he were to leave the ancient village and return to a normal environment, the 100-fold gravity would directly increase his strength. It would directly transform into a sharp increase in strength. After more than a year of bitter training in the ancient village without a moment of relaxation, Xiaofan had obtained an unimaginable achievement. A physical strength of 700,000 cauldrons. This was too terrifying. Xiaofan couldn't help but be excited. His body trembled and he clenched his fists tightly. Eldest senior brother, I really didn't expect that I would improve so quickly. So huge. Every inch of my flesh is now filled with the strength to tear mountains and rivers. In the great wilderness, there are some Wuan birds and giant beasts with ancient bloodlines. They don't know how to cultivate. It's impossible for them to cultivate true qi, but their physical strength is extremely terrifying. It can easily reach hundreds of thousands cauldrons, and their skin and flesh are indestructible. Now, your condition. Just like those great phoenixes and vicious beasts, Xiao Mingchu said concisely. It's not an exaggeration to say that you are a ferocious beast in human form. Xiaofan's throat was choked and he couldn't say anything. Suddenly, Xiao Mingchu changed the topic. His expression and tone became extremely serious. Junior brother Xiaofan. N. Xiao Mingchu's words immediately awakened Xiaofan from his crazy and narcissistic state. Junior brother Xiaofan, you are very proud right now, right? But I want to tell you that your current condition is nothing more than a good foundation. It's not worth being complacent. Xiao Mingchu said in a serious tone. Junior brother Xiaofan, you probably think that your physical strength of 700,000 cauldrons is enough to fight against experts who have opened hundreds of true acupoints, right? You probably think that you are invincible, right? I don't dare. Xiaohan's expression returned to normal as he asked for guidance. Eldest senior brother, I don't dare to be arrogant. I hope eldest senior brother can tell me about my current battle strength. N. Xiao Mingchu nodded slightly. Junior brother Xiaohan, junior brother Fong Ling probably told you that in the true qi realm, every true acupoint that is opened, the amount of true qi poured into each true acupoint is about 1,000 cauldrons of strength, right? Yes, senior brother Fong Ling said so. Xiaohan quickly said. N. Junior brother Xiaohan, true qi and physical strength must not be confused. Xiao Mingchu said in a serious tone. In the true qi realm, no one would be stupid enough to directly transform true qi into pure strength to fight against others. True qi cultivation methods can greatly increase strength and attack speed. There are some true qi cultivation methods that, with just a little bit of practice, cannot be fought against with pure strength. Xiaohan nodded. Back then, when he fought against the clone of the golden armored devil, he used Dragon's Fury and increased his strength, but in the end, he was still unable to destroy the clone. This did not mean that the pure power of the golden armored monster's avatar was much stronger than the power of Xiaohan's dragon face wrath. Rather, it meant that the clone's true qi cultivation method was very profound and would not be destroyed by Xiaohan's pure strength. That's right, eldest senior brother, I understand now. The ferocious beasts of the great wilderness are powerful, easily hundreds of thousands of cauldrons of strength, but they can still be killed by human true qi realm martial artists. That is because the human true qi realm cultivates the true qi cultivation method. The killing power of the true qi cultivation method far surpasses pure strength. Xiaohan blurted out. Xiao Mingchu nodded in satisfaction. Junior brother Xiaohan, it is good that you understand. In short, the strength of the flesh shell does not mean that the absolute battle strength is strong. It only means that the foundation is extremely good. For example, the Great Sun Crown Prince's unique cultivation method, the Great Sun Heart Sutra. You will not be able to fight against it with pure strength. That cultivation method is blessed by the gods and can sweep through the world. Also, in the true qi realm, there are some realms that you are not clear about. Let me explain them to you now. Xiao Mingchu went on and on. You should know how many true acupoints are opened at the 5th level of true qi, right? Eldest senior brother, I know this. Opening 41 to 50 acupoints is the 5th level of true qi. Senior brother Dongfang Qin has opened 50 acupoints and senior brother Fong Ling has opened 48 true acupoints. Both belong to the 5th level of true qi realm. Xiaohan immediately answered. Xiao Mingchu flicked his fingers. Junior brother Xiaohan, I will not tell you too much. The first 5 levels of true qi realm are nothing. But the 6th level of true qi realm is a huge chasm. For example, junior brother Dongfang and junior brother Fong Ling are both at the peak of the 5th level, but it is extremely difficult for them to cross this chasm and enter the 6th level of true qi realm. Thus, their rankings on the monster hero ranking are not high. Once the 51st true acupoint is opened and you enter the 6th level of true qi, your life level will undergo an earth-shattering transformation. The 6th level of true qi is also known as the expanded acupoint realm. As the name suggests, after reaching the 6th level of true qi, the capacity of the true acupoints in the body can be expanded by 10 times, dozens of times, and the strongest can expand their acupoints up to 100 times. Thus, after the expansion of acupoints, the true qi in the true acupoints of the body will be equivalent to hundreds of thousands or even millions of ding of force. Coupled with the cultivation of true Qi divine arts, the battle strength that can be displayed will not be as simple as a few millions of ding of pure force. It can easily destroy an area and move the earth. In short, it is extremely easy for a martial artist at the 6th level of true Qi to defeat someone below the 5th level of true Qi. Junior brother Xiaofan, Xiao Mingchu said sincerely. The martial way is broad and profound, and it is endless. Do not be complacent and arrogant. The 6th level of true Qi is the expanded acupoint realm, the 7th level of true Qi is the talisman realm. For the current you, these are still too far away. You still need to continue cultivating. After many fortuitous encounters, you will be able to become a famous person in this world. Which of the younger generation of those mysterious ancient countries and powerful tribes does not have a physical body of hundreds of thousands or millions of ding? With your current physical strength, it is not enough to contend against junior brother Fong Ling's sword Qi Immortal Lotus and junior brother Dong Fong Qin's Devil Bird Divine Art. Yes, I understand. The more Xiaofan listened, the more ashamed he became. He blushed for his complacency just now. Alright, junior brother Xiaofan, no matter what, your current foundation is extremely good. Your physical body is as strong as a fierce beast. Breaking through the acupoints will be much easier than before. Go hunt. Hunt some Luan and giant beasts with your own hands. Xiao Mingchu laughed. Go. You can hunt most of the strange beasts in the periphery of the Great Desolate. P.S. Today is the weekend. I accompanied my wife during the day and went shopping. Writing was very boring and took up almost all of my daily time. I usually have no time to accompany my wife, but on the weekend, I have to accompany her no matter what. Thus, I only have 2 chapters today. I will not forget to add more chapters. It is written in black and white, I can't deny it. Please rest assured. The subsequent plot will become more and more exciting. Xiaohan's foundation is very solid now, isn't it? Chapter 122. After listening to Xiao Ming's warning, Xiaohan's impetuous state of mind finally calmed down. He deeply understood that there was no limit to the path of martial arts. The strong were as many as the trees in the forest. He was still too young and inexperienced. At best, he had built a solid foundation. He could not be complacent. He could not stop cultivating. Otherwise, before he climbed to the peak, he would die prematurely. Let's go, junior brother Xiaofan. Let's go hunting. Xiao Mingchu took Xiaofan and walked towards the great wilderness outside the village. A group of wimpy kids followed behind. After leaving the ancient village, the strength and speed of the children's flesh shell increased by 100 times. They were like a group of small wild beasts coming out of their nest. Princess Mo Hen, Hu Chenghe, and the other family members followed behind. My old flesh shell and all the functions of my body have actually improved. Hu Chenghe was surprised. Although Princess Mo Hen and the others drank a liter of stinky lake water before entering the ancient village and were not affected by the mysterious pressure of the village, they had lived in the ancient village for more than a year. Now that they came out, the quality of their flesh shell had also improved. It was just that it was far from being as terrifying as Xiaohan. Leaving the village, phew. I can feel the true meridians again. As they walked, Xiaohan's soul finally connected with the true meridians in his body. They could not be separated. Puff. 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 14 true meridians were beating violently and violently, filled with vitality. Each true meridian was filled with true qi like a great river. Moreover, the 15th true meridian was also showing signs of exploding. Rays of divine light flowed on the surface of Xiaohan's body, making him shine brightly. The 100 dried-up demon veins on the demon monarch's palm tattoo on his left arm had already been restored and filled with a glass-like pure demon power. The 2 demon emperor crystals were shining brightly. My strength and vitality have reached the highest peak in history. If I want to break through my meridians now, I wonder how many true meridians I can break through at one time. Can my realm directly soar to the third level of true qi? Xiaofan was simply restless. In this 1 year's time, there was indeed a qualitative breakthrough. Xiaofan knew that if he hadn't met his eldest martial brother, he would have been hunted down and killed by countless Daoist heroes. Even if he was lucky enough to survive, he wouldn't have achieved what he had today. Junior brother Xiaofan, don't try to break through your meridians for the time being. Let's go hunting today. Xiao Mingqiu smiled when he saw Xiaofan's eyes shining with a strange light. There are still a few months left for you. Don't be impatient. I understand. Xiaofan also smiled. Everyone stepped out of this desolate area without any traces of humans or beasts. Returning to the great wilderness. Gua gua, there were all kinds of birds flying across the azure sky. Dong dong dong. Dong, dong, dong. Roar. Roar. Behind the primitive forest and the stone mountain, the roars of mutated beasts could be heard from the swamp. Junior brother Xiaofan, take the children and go hunting. I won't make a move today. I'll take a nap first. Ha ha ha. Xiao Mingqiu's body moved slightly and he leaped onto an ancient tree that was hundreds of meters tall. Lying on the branch of a tree, he took out a sharpened black stone and carved runes on the bone arrow. He was happy to be idle. Princess Mo Hen, Hu Chenghe, and the other family members did not dare to go far in the Great Desolate. They did not have the ability to hunt. They all sat under the shade of the trees and enjoyed the scenery. Ha ha ha. Little tiger, leopard, let's go hunting. Xiaofan smiled and called out to the children. Let's go. Big brother Xiaofan. Why don't we compete and see who can catch more prey today? The children suggested. Okay. Xiaofan naturally would not refuse even though it was his first time hunting. But he did not want to lose to the children. Boom, although the children were young, they were all outstanding hunters in this great desolate area. They dispersed in a hubbub and went to find suitable prey for themselves. With Xiao Mingqiu overseeing, there was naturally no need to worry about the children encountering danger. Xiaofan simply let go of his hands and feet and walked forward step by step. His ears pricked up and he used his hearing to the limit to listen to the strange sounds in all directions. In the east side of the forest, there was the sound of trees being crushed and broken. It seemed like there was some big fellow causing trouble there. I will go and take a look first. Xiaofan smiled and his body swayed. With a flash of a shadow, Xiaofan had already shot out hundreds of feet, directly breaking into the deep forest. As expected, Xiaofan saw a gigantic creature. It was a man-bear. It was 5 to 6 zhang tall and its whole body was pitch black. Its fur was like needles and its eyes were fierce. There was a golden horn on its head that was surrounded by lightning. It was hugging a huge tree and shaking it. There was a huge bird's nest on the tree. It was unknown what kind of giant one it belonged to. It seemed that the man-bear wanted to take advantage of the giant one's absence to steal the bird's eggs and feast on them. He, this is this young master's first prey. Tonight, I will eat bear paw. When Xiaofan saw the man-bear, all the strength in his body exploded. A gust of wind blew past and broke all the young trees in the forest. Die. Xiaofan was like a wild beast and fiercely pounced towards the man-bear, wanting to kill and tear it apart. Ho! The bearman cried out in fear. His fierce eyes were filled with panic and fear. He had actually run away. Bang! 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 The man-bear spread its legs and ran out of the forest. It was unknown how many ancient trees were broken and it was a complete mess. Xiaofan chased closely. With a jump, he could jump hundreds of zhang away. Just like the man-bear, his body casually broke the huge trees. The man and the bear began to chase. It was as if two fierce beasts were fighting each other. Rushing out of the forest, the man-bear's speed was extremely fast. The bear's body tore through the air and formed a wave of chi. It ran for its life. It seemed to have a premonition of the human strength and fierceness. It actually did not dare to turn back. "Don't run." Xiaofan chased anxiously. However, he did not release his true chi. He wanted to use pure physical strength to hunt. After all, when he was competing with brats did not know how to use true chi. If Xiaofan relied on true chi to catch up to and kill his prey, it would be too shameful. The man-bear madly ran to a 10,000 meters tall stone mountain. With a leap, it actually scuttled into a pitch-black cave at the bottom of the mountain. Then, it quickly pushed a huge rock and blocked the cave entrance. "Damn it!" Xiaofan stopped his footsteps. In an instant, boom! Xiaohan's body flashed. With his body of flesh and blood, he smashed into the stone mountain. In an instant. The mountain was smashed open with numerous cracks. It was a shocking sight. However, the man-bear still hid in the cave. It could not come out anymore. Xiaofan cursed his bad luck. He shook off the stone fragments from his hair and went around the stone mountain. A few hundred zhang away, a huge golden pangolin appeared in Xiaohan's vision. The pangolin was 10 zhang long. Its entire body glowed with a golden light. Its eyes were cold as it looked back at Xiaofan. They stared at each other. The pangolin is not bad either. Xiaohan's 2 legs stepped on the ground. His body turned into a blur as he directly rushed over. A tornado rose into the sky. Gigi, the pangolin let out a cry of shock. Its 2 claws dug into the ground. In an instant, it actually dug a hole and dived into it. Pang! Xiaofan jumped a few times and landed on the ground. A large part of the ground was shattered. However, the pangolin had already shrunk and dived deep into the ground. It can't be. Is hunting so hard? Xiaofan was speechless. Gua gua gua, a bird's cry came from above Xiaofan. He looked up. In the sky, there were dozens of huge birds circling. Each of these huge birds was as big as a manor. They covered the sky and cast a terrifying shadow on the ground. They were similar to eagles. Their bodies were covered with black scales. The scales were dense, as if they were made of molten iron. They shone with a cold metallic luster. Their ferocious aura was shocking. "Come down." Xiaofan licked his lips. He raised his head and provocatively hooked his finger. Those huge eagles kept circling, but did not dare to fly low. At this moment, one of the huge eagles finally could not hold back. It began to dive down, trying to get close to Xiaofan and test him. 200 zhang above the ground. 150 zhang above the ground. 100 zhang above the ground. Die for me. Xiaofan leaped up and shot up into the sky like an arrow piercing through the clouds. The air suddenly exploded. It was like shooting a mountain cannon. Gua! The huge eagle was hit by the violent airflow caused by Xiaohan's flight. All the scales on its body contracted. It let out a miserable cry. Its body instantly rose 10 zhang high in the sky, causing Xiaohan's attack to miss. Your reaction is really fast. Xiaofan waved his fist in the air, but in the end, he could not hit the huge eagle. He angrily fell down, smashing the ground. Gua gua gua, a few of the huge eagles flew down and circled provocatively. Xiaohan's embarrassment turned into anger. He directly picked up a 1,000 boulder from the ground and used all his strength to throw it upwards. This time, it was like a meteorite falling from the sky. With a pu sound, it smashed into one of the huge eagles in the sky. Scales flew everywhere and the eagle's blood flowed. Its eyes were filled with ferocity. With a flap of its wings, the boulder was smashed into powder. Although Xiaofan's strength was great, after throwing the boulder for 100 zhang, its strength was weakened. It was not enough to smash down a huge eagle. It seems that these ferocious birds and wild beasts can feel my strength. Therefore, they are very afraid of me. When they smelled my aura, they fled without a trace. Xiaofan calmed down. If this is the case, it will be very difficult for me to hunt prey. I'm afraid I will lose to the children. Xiaofan sat cross-legged on the ground and thought. No, I cannot act recklessly. I have to think of a way. Xiaofan's eyeballs turned. Suddenly. That's right. I will block all the functions of my body. A light flashed in Xiaofan's mind. With a thought, he activated the tortoise breathing technique. In the next moment, Xiaofan's ferocious aura was sealed. The sound of metal clanging when the blood surged was sealed. Even the strong smell emitted from his cells was sealed. This caused Xiaofan's vitality to become ordinary, like an ordinary person. After putting on the disguise, Xiaofan swaggered around the wasteland. Gua, a ferocious bird's cry came from above his head. Only to see, a huge ferocious bird that was over 100 zhang long, with beautiful wings and fiery light around its body, circled above Xiaofan's head, letting out a bloodthirsty and cruel cry. In the next moment, Gua, the ferocious bird, screeched and began to dive down. Its claws were like hooks, suffused with a cold and deathly luster. It wanted to catch Xiaofan and eat him like a snack. This is my first prey. When the ferocious bird was only 10 zhang away from him, Xiaofan moved. Boom! The aura in his body suddenly broke through the tortoise breathing technique seal. The ferocious power surged like a tide, rolling like thunder. The river water beat against the shore, the ground was flattened, and smoke rose everywhere. Bang! Xiaofan's body was covered in golden light. He jumped up and punched. A tornado rushed out and directly hit the belly of the ferocious bird. The almost invincible power smashed a huge hole on the belly of the ferocious bird. Cracks spread out like a spider web. Pooh! 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 The ferocious bird hovered in the air. Its huge body kept twitching and spasming. Its body was like a firecracker exploding. The blood of the bird was flowing wildly, and its vitality was extinguished. He had killed a giant luan with just the strength of his flesh shell. Ha ha ha! I've finally killed my first prey. It's actually a luan. I heard from senior brother that luan is harder to kill than the ferocious beasts on the ground. Xiaofan put the corpse of the luan on the ground and rolled his eyes. This method is not bad. Let's see how many prey I can catch today. Xiao Mingchu lazily and leisurely sat on the branch of an ancient tree. His legs swayed as he opened his soft eyes and smiled. This kid is really a natural hunter. He can actually hide his strength and aura. Interesting. It's getting more and more interesting. The beautiful pure mountain range was like a poem or a painting. The profound pure palace. The sect master of the pure sect was sitting in the pavilion reading a book. Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling were standing in the pavilion. Sect master, it's been almost 2 years. I wonder where junior brother Xiaofan is. Dongfang Qin said worriedly. The sect master slowly put down the book in his hand and looked far away. He's still alive. However, I don't know his situation at the moment. He seems to have escaped far away from the southern region. In a few months, this year's Devil Hero Trial competition will begin. Sect Master, junior brother Xiaofan is only 17 years old this year. If he gives up this year's Devil Hero Trial competition, he can still participate in the next Devil Hero Trial competition at the age of 22. Before the age of 30, he can participate. It doesn't have to be this year. Fong Ling suddenly said. The sect master looked at Fong Ling. Sect master, the mortality rate of this year's Devil Hero Trial competition is very high. It's called the most terrifying one in history. Fong Ling frowned deeply. I heard that the ancient countries in the depths of the great wilderness and those hidden powerful tribes have produced a group of young geniuses in recent years. They want to rise and will participate in this year's Devil Hero Challenge competition. Oh. Those guys in the depths of the great wilderness. Dongfang Qin's pupils shrank and said cautiously. When I participated in the Devil Hero Trial competition, I also met some young people from the great wilderness. They are extremely terrifying, cruel and perverted. They drank the precious blood of ancient species and grew up with countless ferocious birds and beasts. They were born with a barbaric and noble bloodline. When they were young, they could tear a ferocious dragon with their bare hands. Sect master, if you let junior brother Xiaofan compete with these perverted fellows, I'm afraid. The sect master waved his hand. Xiaofan has no way out. Now, the entire southern region and even the devil heroes of other regions are hunting for him. Rumor has it that he once sneaked into the wedding procession of the Fire Beacon Empire's emperor. At the border of the Blazing Sun Empire, he encountered another demon emperor and seemed to have a fortuitous encounter. He is now a hot prey. I don't know if he has improved. This. Dongfang Qin and Fong Ling exchanged glances and saw the deep worry in each other's eyes. Chapter 123. Xiaofan had found his own way of hunting that was effective and could be done once and for all. He was like the most cunning and terrifying hunter. He used the tortoise-breathing style to seal his power, attracting the attacks of all kinds of ferocious beasts and great luan in the great wilderness, and then counterattacking. In just a few hours, Xiaofan had killed 4 great luan, 6 giant eagles, 2 mad rhinoceroses, 3 striped tigers, 5 giant wolves, and 2 golden crocodiles. Xiaofan carried these preys to a wasteland and met up with the kids. The preys that were piled up like a mountain emitted a bitter aura of the great wilderness, illustrating their ferocity and tyranny when they were alive. All the preys that the kids had hunted could not even compare to half of what Xiaofan had hunted. Big brother Xiaofan, you are so powerful. The kids looked at Xiaofan with eyes full of worship. Big brother Xiaofan, this is your first time hunting and you have returned with great rewards. You have hunted so many ferocious birds and giant beasts, you are as powerful as Big Brother Mingchu. In the future, Big Brother Xiaofan will hunt for the ancient village every day. Xiaofan laughed with satisfaction. Princess Mo Hen and the others also ran over to congratulate him. At this moment, Xiao Mingchu, who was lying lazily on the towering ancient tree, slightly moved his eyes, and his right ear trembled a few times. His mouth curled into a faint smile as he muttered to himself. Next, it seems like something is going to happen, junior brother Xiaofan, I have something to do and will leave first. You guys wait here for me for a while. Amen, let's do this. Junior brother Xiaofan, remember to protect the children. After saying this, Xiao Mingchu leaped and disappeared in the sky with a few flashes. Eldest senior brother? Xiaofan looked up in confusion. He then said to the kids. Let's play here for a while. He thought, what is eldest senior brother trying to do? Dozens of miles away. Dozens of giant bulls with 4 burning hooves came from the depths of the great wilderness. This was a giant bull with immemorial bloodline, the flame bull. An adult flame bull was 4 zhang long and 1 zhang above the ground. The bull's eyes shot out golden light, and its whole body was surrounded by colorful lights, looking extremely magical. They were tamed as mounts by some powerful tribes in the great wilderness. In the great wilderness, tribes that had flame bulls as mounts ruled over a territory and had hundreds of millions of people supporting them. They were not to be trifled with. At this moment, more than 10 barbarians with monstrous blood chi were riding these flaming bulls as they galloped as fast as lightning. These barbarians were wrapped in beast skins, and their appearances were extremely rough. Their bodies were like mountains, and they were more than 2 meters tall. Their auras were powerful and terrifying, and with just a slight glare, hundreds of beasts would tremble. True chi was still flowing on the surface of their bodies, and they were sparkling, adding to their divine might. The one riding in front of the barbarians was a 15 or 16-year-old youth. He was extremely handsome with fair skin and exuberant chi and blood. His long black hair casually draped over his shoulders, and his eyes sparkled like gems. His expression was cold and arrogant. His eyes flickered with wildness and cruelty, as well as an innate arrogance. His temperament was like that of an untamable beast. Qin Jiang is the youngest and bravest warrior in our Dehua tribe, and one of the most outstanding sons of the tribe leader. At the age of 16, he could already hunt a flood dragon by himself. His future was limitless. It is very likely that he will lead the Dehua tribe to glory in the future. I'm really looking forward to it. A barbarian looked at the back of the young man who was riding on the bull, and his eyes were filled with admiration and amazement. Another barbarian nodded and said, "Qin Jiang will become a talent, and he will rise. He was born with great valor, and the strength of his body can topple the mountains and overturn the seas. He hunts ferocious birds and wild beasts like picking up grass. What's even rarer is that he has opened his true meridian, and cultivated to level 2 of true chi. He is like a tiger that has grown wings. There are many youths in the great wilderness who have strong bodies, but there are not many who can open their true meridian. Qin Jiang is a super genius of the Dehua tribe that only appears once in 100 years. This time, he will go to the outside world and participate in the Devil Hero trial. If he can become a Devil Hero, he will be able to learn the most powerful true chi divine technique. It will benefit the entire tribe. Yes, true chi divine technique is something we lack in our tribe." Another barbarian sighed. The true chi divine technique is still in the hands of the Devil Hero. We, the children of the great wilderness, who can become a Devil Hero, do not have unparalleled skills. Qin Jiang will become a Devil Hero this time. There is no need to doubt this. The youths in the outside world are as weak as lambs in front of Qin Jiang. Ha ha ha. The young man turned around and smiled. Uncles, those people in the outside world treat us, the children of the great wilderness, as barbarians. Qin Jiang will make them pay. In this Devil Hero trial, Qin Jiang must personally kill all the competitors and stand out. Qin Jiang likes to kill those who think highly of themselves. In fact, they are very weak. They are not even as strong as the birds and dragons that Qin Jiang casually tore apart. Ha ha ha. How ambitious. One of the barbarians smiled, but he also reminded Qin Jiang. However, Qin Jiang, you can't be too complacent. Although the youths in the outside world are physically weaker than us, in terms of true chi cultivation, their talent and physique are better than us, the children of the great wilderness. I heard that those sects have many true chi divine technique manuals that we covet. Humph. Uncle Qin Huan has underestimated Qin Jiang. Qin Jiang is not afraid of those sect disciples at all. He will kill them like pigs and dogs. Uncle Qin Huan, just wait and see. Viciousness flashed across Qin Jiang's eyes. Ha 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 ha. A burst of unrestrained and coarse laughter immediately reverberated in the wilderness. Dong 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 dong, the ground shook. There seems to be a group of giant beasts galloping towards us. Xiaofan's ears twitched a few times. Brother Xiaofan, there are 17 giant beasts. No, 18. Little Tiger crouched down and put his right ear to the ground to listen. Then, he blinked at Xiaofan. Xiaofan nodded and licked his lips. Get ready to hunt. He. I haven't killed enough today. Not long after, dust billowed in front of them. The sound of hooves stomping on the ground was getting closer and closer, like rolling thunder. Xiaofan, seems to be a human. Oh. No, it's a human riding a wild beast. Princess Mo Hen covered her eyes with her hand. It's a tribe in the great wilderness. Princess, be careful. Hu Chenghe quickly reminded. These are the tribes in the great wilderness? Sure enough, each of them is full of vigor and their aura is like that of a humanoid beast. Their flesh shells are very strong. If I didn't cultivate in Stone Village, just based on my physical body, I would indeed be too weak and frail in front of these people. Xiaofan quietly activated the tortoise breathing style, sealing all his strength and sharp aura, making him look very harmless. Alright, children, we can't hunt anymore. They seem to be people from some tribe. Do you know these people? Xiaofan asked in a low voice. Brother Xiaofan, we don't know these people. In the outskirts of the great wilderness, there are only our ancient village and a few small tribes. They are riding flame bulls, a very strong type of wild beast. Their eyes can spit fire, but their hooves and tendons are very delicious. In the past, Brother Mingchu had hunted a flame bull and let us try it. It's very delicious. That's right. Especially the bull's eyes. When you eat it, you can't help but swallow your own tongue. Little Tiger swallowed his saliva while staring at the flame bulls. More than 10 children stared at the flame bulls with saliva dripping from their mouths, automatically filtering out the riders on the bulls. Goo goo, a few of the children's stomachs were still growling. They were full of appetite. A group of gluttons. Xiaofan laughed involuntarily. The children of Stone Village could eat a lot and were also very gluttonous. However, he couldn't just go and steal other people's mounts, right? Xiaofan hurriedly called out to the children. Alright, children, let them go. Don't stare at other people's bulls, it's very rude. Oh. The children were still quite obedient and reluctantly moved their gazes away. However, the dozen or so flaming oxen stopped, and vaguely formed an encirclement, surrounding Xiaofan and his group. Just now, I heard that someone wants to eat a flame bull. A young man had an extremely cold expression on his face as he looked at Xiaofan and the group of brats with a condescending gaze. It was as if he was looking at a group of ants that he could kill and take away. It was the young genius of the Dehua tribe, Qin Jiang. His eyes emitted a frightening light that was overbearing. So it's a group of little reptiles that live in the outskirts of the great wilderness. But their tone is very arrogant. His gaze turned and looked at the outstanding beauty Princess Mo Hen. His gaze was very aggressive and possessive. It unscrupulously swept across Princess Mo Hen's exquisite and curvaceous body and then loudly said. Uncles, what do you think of this woman? In the Dehua tribe, you can't find such a beautiful woman. Moreover, she's not a child of the great wilderness. Obviously, she's from the outside world. I seem to have heard people call her princess. Maybe she's the princess of some kingdom from the outside world. That's great. She can be my concubine. The men of the great wilderness regard having beautiful women from the outside world as an honor. This kind of woman is enough for me to show off in front of my brothers. They will be jealous of me. Father will also agree with my taste. The barbarians all nodded and expressed their agreement with Qin Jiang's words. Qin Jiang thought for a few breaths and then said with a commanding tone. Little reptiles, leave your prey and atone for your rudeness. Then kneel down. After we leave, you can stand up. That woman, you will follow me now. You will become my private property and a beautiful feather that I can show off in the tribe. Xiao Hu widened his eyes. This brother, why do you want to steal our prey? And you want us to kneel? Moreover, Princess Mo Hen is not your private property. You can't take her away. Hee hee. The people of the Great Wilderness are really a bit interesting. Xiaofan silently licked his lips. The killing intent in his heart was out of control. Presumptuous. This is too presumptuous. Hearing Qin Zhang's insulting words and insulting Princess Mo Hen, Hu Chenghe was so angry that he blew his beard and glared at Qin Zhang. The true qi in his body surged, and the 35-pointed star true acupoints emitted a red glow. A surging true qi river soared into the sky. Oh! Qin Zhang was stunned. Immediately, his eyes burst out a beam of light that made people tremble. He said sternly, "It seems that these lowly people should all be killed." Xiaofan looked left and right and suddenly realized. No wonder eldest senior brother found an excuse to escape. It turned out that he had predicted that something would happen. He didn't want to show up and see how I would deal with it. Really? The next moment, Xiaofan took a step forward and shouted. "Eldest senior brother, I know you are nearby. I want to ask you something. I am going to start a massacre and crush all these barbarians. If possible, eldest senior brother doesn't need to say anything. If I can't kill them, I hope eldest senior brother can say something to stop them. I will count from 1 to 3. If eldest senior brother doesn't say anything, I will start. 1, 2, 3. Xiaofan shouted 3 times. The wilderness was empty. Xiao Mingchu's voice was not heard. Xiaofan nodded and said to himself. "Okay, eldest senior brother, I understand what you mean." Immediately, Xiaofan raised his head and looked at Qin Zhang and the barbarians. "I'm sorry, all of you will die here. Yes, all of you will die. The Peerless Tang Sect." Chapter 124. Xiaofan glanced around. There were a total of 18 people. Their bodies were all extremely strong, and all of them had cultivated true qi. However, their true qi realms were not very high. This seemingly arrogant young man had opened 16 acupoints and was at the 2nd level of true qi. The rest of the barbarians were also at the 2nd level of true qi. Only one was at the 3rd level. In terms of the quality of true qi, these people could not be compared to Nangongyi. Nangongyi was a hero after all. He had gone through the trials of blood and fire. Not any random group of people from the Great Wilderness could be stronger than Nangongyi. How dare a group of people like this clamor in front of me? They are all looking for death. Moreover, great senior brother has gone into hiding. It is obvious that he wants me to compete with the people from the Great Wilderness. Why should I be polite? Xiaofan sneered in his heart. His fighting spirit was boiling. Kids, back off. Tonight, we can eat the flaming bull. Xiaofan waved his hand at the kids, signaling them to back off. Xiaofan, you have to be careful. They have the numbers advantage, and they are barbaric and powerless, Princess Mo Hen shouted worriedly. Hu Chenghe and a few other true qi realm guards stood guard in front of her, on full alert. Oh! You are not a child of the Great Wilderness. Qin Zhang looked at Xiaofan coldly. And you are very weak. You. Before he could finish his words, suddenly. Boom! Xiaofan's aura suddenly exploded. His powerful and domineering aura rose to its peak without any preparation. There was only a distance of 100 feet between him and Qin Zhang. With the strength of Xiaofan's body, he could completely ignore this distance. In less than a breath's time, Xiaofan's figure dashed forward and was already in front of Qin Zhang. Strong winds blew and clouds surged. Die! Xiaofan punched out. The tornado around him roared, and even the flaming bull that Qin Zhang was riding fell to the ground. Qin Zhang did not even have the chance to activate his true qi. In the blink of an eye, he roared and punched out with his right fist. He fought Xiaofan with pure physical strength. Bang! Their fists collided. It was as if a meteorite had collided, and the sky collapsed. Ka 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 ka, spiderweb-like cracks instantly appeared on the ground. Ah! Qin Jiang let out a heart-wrenching shriek that sounded like a pig being slaughtered. In the blink of an eye, his beast skin clothes were shattered into ashes at a speed visible to the naked eye. In less than a breath's time, his jade-white skin was covered in terrifying and shocking cracks like porcelain. The cracks spread all over his body like a centipede. Pooh! Puff! Puff! Pft! Qin Jiang's body began to explode. Pucci, the flaming bull that Qin Jiang was riding on, was smashed into a pile of minced meat. In just one exchange, Xiaofan had used the pure strength of his body to directly smash a man from the great wilderness who was famous for his strong body. Xiaofan said disdainfully as he landed on the ground. His aura surged and the blood in his body surged. His physical body only has about 100,000 ding of strength, yet he dares to jump around? In the outside world, it might be able to move people, but in front of me, it's not even worth mentioning. He really doesn't know how to write the word death. There was silence between heaven and earth. The next moment, roar. No! Qin Jiang was killed. The young genius of the Dahua tribe died. How did this happen? This time, Qin Jiang was going to participate in the hex trial. He was destined to become a hex, a rising genius. Why did he die here? This is unforgivable. This is completely unforgivable. The tribe leader will go crazy. A group of barbarians let out mournful cries. Cuckoos and blood-weeping apes wailed as if they were mourning the death of their parents. The next moment, more than a dozen true energy attacks blasted towards Xiaofan at the same time. They wanted to blast Xiaofan into pieces. Ha ha ha. The true energy cultivation method that you barbarians cultivate is really weak. Ha ha ha. Xiaofan laughed loudly. The next moment, hum. 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 Rays of golden light bloomed from the surface of Xiaofan's body. The golden bone texts flashed everywhere, beautiful and magnificent. At this moment, Xiaofan seemed to be bathed in a blazing golden sea. His skin seemed to be dyed gold, and his eyes were shining with golden light. He was like an inviolable god. Between heaven and earth, faint sounds of Zen and Sanskrit could be heard. Indestructible golden body. This was the indestructible golden body that Xiaofan had cultivated for 1 year and 7 months under the terrifying pressure of the ancient village. Things were different now. It was no small matter. The indestructible golden body complemented the strength of Xiaofan's flesh shell. The stronger the flesh shell, the more powerful and blazing the indestructible golden body. Now, Xiaofan was using 700,000 ding of flesh shell strength to activate the indestructible golden body. It was simply heaven-defying. Bang! 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 Rays of dazzling true energy attacks bombarded Xiaofan like raindrops, but they were swallowed by the golden light and disappeared without a trace. What kind of bullsh*t true energy cultivation method is this? It's not even as good as my spirit turtle true energy. All of you, die. Xiaofan's body moved slightly, and he had already flashed in front of a barbarian. Boom! With a punch, the barbarian was blasted into meat paste. Xiaofan's body turned in the air and forcefully changed direction. From left to right, he continuously bombarded the barbarian. It was like entering an unstoppable realm. Like a hot knife through butter, sweeping away thousands of soldiers. My body is as strong as a treasure. The indestructible golden body dominates the wilderness. My internal organs are as deep as the sea. A punch and a kick can destroy the world. If I meet a demon hero who cultivates a powerful true energy cultivation method, I might not dare to attack directly. But you barbarians of the wilderness, your bodies are not as strong as mine, and your true energy cultivation methods are inferior. I can kill you like slaughtering pigs and dogs. Xiaofan was like a human-shaped beast, flashing in and out. His speed was extremely fast. In just a dozen breaths' time, the barbarians were all dead. None of them, who were arrogant just now, survived. Bang! Xiaohan's feet landed on the ground, and every step he took shattered the ground. A bunch of clowns. Wow! Big brother Xiaofan is so strong. The little brats cheered. Kill these evil people. Hu Cheng's body trembled as he said to Princess Inghen. Your Highness, now, young hero Xiaohan's battle strength is simply shocking. With just this body, I'm afraid he can fight against Nangong Yi. Too strong. He's ridiculously strong. Clap clap clap, the sound of hands clapping rang out. Xiao Mingchu leisurely strolled over from afar. Junior brother Xiaohan, the strength of your flesh shell complements this simple yet powerful body refining technique, bringing out the best in each other. A normal true energy realm martial artist cannot break through your defense. Xiao Mingchu walked over. Eldest senior brother is too kind. Xiaohan's heart was much calmer now. He knew that the world was big, and the strong were as many as the trees in the forest. Thus, he was not arrogant at all. It's just that the true energy cultivation method of this group of barbarians is too inferior. That's why my little brother can ignore their attacks. Moreover, although their bodies are strong, they are not as strong as me, who has undergone 100 times the gravity training. Speaking of which, it's not that my little brother is strong, but that they are too weak. That's right, eldest senior brother, where did this group of people come from? If he killed them, would he leave behind future troubles? Will it bring disaster to the ancient village? Junior brother Xiaohan, I don't know where these people came from. The great desolate territory is vast and boundless. There are countless tribes and ancient countries, as many as the eternal sands. The people you killed were all trash. Their bloodlines were extremely inferior. Come to think of it, they were nothing more than a self-proclaimed noble tribe in a remote area of the Great Desolate. In this bitter and desolate land, they were arrogant and tyrannical. They were arrogant and ignorant, bullying the weak and fearing the strong. No one could control them. Just now, that young man even wanted to participate in this year's hex selection. He is really ignorant to the extreme. This kind of person belongs to the category of cannon fodder. It doesn't matter if they are killed by you. Sooner or later, they will die in the cruel hex selection. Xiao Mingchu spoke frankly with assurance. Just now, I heard someone coming, so I deliberately avoided them to see if there would be a dispute. The people of the Great Desolate Territory are very unreasonable. These people really want to bully you. I also want to take this opportunity to test junior brother Xiaohan's combat strength. Xiaohan laughed involuntarily. He thought to himself, eldest senior brother, you are really something. You actually used a group of barbarians to test my combat strength. Originally, I was going to take you to the depths of the Great Desolate Territory to find opportunities to fight with people and test your combat strength. But now, it seems that there is no need for that. This year's hex selection will start in a few months. There is no need to go to the Great Desolate Territory. If you get into a difficult battle and waste time, it will not be good. Xiao Mingchu smiled. These barbarians appeared at the right time, ha ha ha. They saved me the trouble of taking you to the depths of the Great Desolate Territory to train. Alright, junior brother Xiaohan, go back. With your current combat strength, if you were in the previous hex selection, you have a 90% chance of standing out and becoming a hex hero. Even if this is the cruelest in history, you should at least have a 50% or 60% chance of winning. Stay in the ancient village for another month, and I will tell you some of my experiences in the hex selection. After that, I will take you back to the Pure Cloud sect. Prepare to participate in this year's hex selection. Yes, senior brother, I have been away from the sect for almost 2 years. I want to go back too, ha ha ha. Xiaofan was overjoyed. Xiao Mingchu released his true qi, burning the corpses on the ground into nothingness, leaving no traces. After that, everyone carried the prey they had hunted today, returning to the village with a bountiful harvest. Ancient Village. Night. The sky was filled with stars, and the full moon shone with a noble and otherworldly beauty. The villagers lit up a special bonfire and roasted delicious flaming cows, luan, and dire beasts. They even danced to liven up the atmosphere. Xiaohan chomped on the luan meat as he chatted with Xiao Mingchu. Oh right, junior brother Xiaohan, tonight, you should start breaking through your meridians. Let's see how many meridians you can break through with your body that is comparable to a dire beast. Xiao Mingchu's expression was full of anticipation. Yes. Senior brother. Tonight, I will break through my meridians in seclusion. Xiaohan wiped the grease off the corner of his mouth. Night. Xiaohan left the ancient village, a few miles away from the village. He sat cross-legged. There were a few large carriages beside him, filled with true qi spirit stones. Those were Princess Mo Hen's dowry. Now, they had become Xiaohan's private property. Xiaohan's eyes were focused on his nose was focused on his heart, and his mind was immersed in the position of the 15th acupoint. Start breaking through. Let's see how many meridians I can break through. To be continued. Chapter 125. After living in the ancient village for more than a year, Xiaohan had cut off the connection between his soul and his true meridians. His true qi was completely blocked. He focused on training his flesh shell. Now, his flesh shell had been tempered 100 times, like an unsheathed sword, showing off its sharpness. It was time to shift the focus of his training to true qi. Breaking through the meridians. Xiao Mingchu once said that the stronger the body, the easier it was to break through the meridians. Kang! In the night sky, a blade light flashed. A strand of blade intent was shot out by Xiaohan. Open the 15th true meridian. Puff! The blade intent that could cut through the void directly broke through everything. The 15th true meridian was opened. From within Xiaohan's body, the beautiful sound of a butterfly breaking out of a cocoon was heard. Xiaohan continuously sensed the true meridians in one go. His spirit was crystal clear, without any impurities. At this moment, he was in the best state. Sensing the location of the true meridian was like looking at the lines on his palm. Life and death, honor and disgrace, it didn't matter. More than a year's worth of accumulation exploded all at once. To his heart's content. Puff! 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 The 16th. The 17th. The 18th. The 19th. The 20th. The peak of the second level. The 21st true meridian was about to break through to the third level. This was a natural moat. If he could break through it, it would be a smooth journey. If he couldn't break through it, it might become a long-term shackle. Qi. 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 The 21st true meridian was sealed. It was very stubborn and blocked. It couldn't be easily broken through. Xiaohan used his spirit as a blade and sliced. Charge. To no avail. Then, he used the blade intent that could break all laws to kill. The 21st true meridian began to loosen. It was on the verge of collapse. Roar. This was a crucial moment. Xiaohan roared loudly. All the muscles, bones, and skin in his body. All opened up. The power of his body was like a star shining, like the sun and moon in the sky, like a river flowing through the land. The indestructible golden body emitted golden light and densely packed bone runes bloomed. The chanting and Zen intent resounded. The next moment, bang! The 21st acupoint had completely and utterly exploded. True Qi Stage 3. After breaking through this barrier, Xiaofan charged straight in and attacked the root of the problem. His acupoints exploded consecutively. Puff! 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 Number 22. The 23rd. The 24th. The 28th. Until the 28th true meridian was opened. Only then did the blazing momentum of breaking the wind and breaking the waves, as well as the determination to forge ahead, begin to gradually weaken. In the end, all banners and drums ceased. The 29th acupoint was temporarily unable to be opened. Even so, Xiaohan's true Qi realm skyrocketed from the second stage to the peak of the third stage. From 14 true meridians, it charged to 28 true meridians. It was definitely not a small matter. Perhaps it could be said that the stronger one's physical body was, the easier it would be to break through the true acupoints. However, it was not as easy as eating and drinking. Between the physical body and the true Qi, there seems to be a complementary relationship, but it is very subtle. After all, they belong to two completely different fields. Like well water and river water. It could raise one's cultivation by a whole realm. Xiaofan was very satisfied. His level of life, thinking, spirit, and bearing had all made great progress. At this moment, Xiaohan's body was shrouded in a dazzling light. True Qi light columns were rising above his head. It was a spectacular sight. In his body, there were 28 five-pointed stars shining brightly like stars in the sky. Who? Xiaofan let out a mouthful of turbid air and gently wiped the beads of sweat from his forehead. The peak of the third stage of True Qi, coupled with an extraordinary flesh shell, I won't be considered cannon fodder if I participate in this year's Monster Hero tryouts, right? I, Xiaofan, will also compete with the most outstanding talents of the generation in the East, South, West, and North regions. And I will not be afraid of the young generation of the ancient countries and powerful tribes in the depths of the wasteland. The next moment, in his heart, the 4 broken seals slightly throbbed and trembled. As Xiaohan's true Qi realm increased, some martial arts light cocoons, as expected, burst out. Indestructible golden body. 51 to 60 movements. Emperor's Divine Fist 6th style. Broken mountains and rivers. 9 revolutions Divine Art 2nd revolution. As for the 7 fragment blade technique, Xiaofan had not comprehended the third form, fragmented will form. Therefore, the seal with the traces of the 7 fragment blade technique did not trigger new martial arts light cocoons for the time being. The fragmented will form was related to the breaking of the blade intent, nirvana rebirth, breaking the old and establishing the new. This was not a trivial matter, and Xiaofan was not confident yet. He needed an epiphany and an opportunity in the future. He could not rush it. At this moment, the sky had already turned white. At the same time, Xiaohan's mental strength was haggard. After a night of opening meridians, Xiaohan's mental strength was like a sponge being sucked dry. At this moment, his eyes were heavy, and he was drowsy. Let's go back to the ancient village and rest for a day. Xiaofan stood up and took out some supreme-grade True Qi spirit stones from the carriage beside him. He inserted them into the true meridians, filling the newly opened true meridians with True Qi. Back to the village. Back in the ancient village, Xiaohan went straight into a stone house and fell asleep. Xiao Mingchu sat on a stone bench, chiseling talisman characters on the bone arrow. He looked at Xiaohan, his eyes showing appreciation and gratification. He murmured, "Good boy, you have consecutively opened more than 10 true meridians, and you have also reached the peak of the 3rd level True Qi. In today's world, among the younger generation, you are amazing and will not lose to other enchanting geniuses. My more than a year of training was not in vain. Perhaps, in the future, our Pure Rain sect will rise up to have a super demon hero. Xiaofan slept in the stone house for the whole day. He was only woken up by Princess Mo Hen at night. After dinner, Xiao Mingchu called Xiaofan over. The two brothers sat on the stone bench and chatted. Junior brother Xiaofan, I will soon bring you out of the ancient village, out of the great wilderness, and back to the southern domain. This year's Demon Hero trial will begin as scheduled. You should be very unfamiliar with the Demon Hero trial, right? Xiao Mingchu said with a faint smile. Yes, eldest senior brother, I've never heard of the Hex contest. More than a year ago, my strength was low, and I did not have the qualifications to know about this. Xiaofan also smiled. Well. Now, I'll tell you about the Hex Hero preliminaries. So that you will not be confused when you participate. You don't know anything. Xiao Mingchu quickly sorted out his thoughts. Then, he talked incessantly, Junior brother Xiaofan. The demon hero is the most powerful and the most amazing genius among the human true chi realm. He is the best of the best after a narrow selection. The main responsibility of the demon hero is to hunt the demon race, so that this world will not become a paradise for the demon race. Apart from killing demons, the demon hero can also go on some adventures. For example, exploring some ruins and secret realms. Once you become a demon hero, you will be clearly separated from ordinary martial artists. Holding the demon hero order. You can ignore the laws and restrictions of the secular world, do whatever you want without being oppressed by the rules, and even crush the rules. Seriously, the laws of the empire and the sect's dogma are all bullshit to the demon hero. Also, the demon hero can enter some mysterious worlds that ordinary martial artists will never be able to explore and understand. The demon hero can also participate in the games and tests set by the strongest people in this world, and obtain unimaginable rewards. The demon hero is worshipped and envied by all. Moreover, every demon hero is extremely rich. Because the demon hero can enter all kinds of secret realms to explore, if they are blessed with luck. They can obtain all kinds of true chi and secret techniques. They can even obtain clues to become immortal. For example, the unique technique of the Great Sun Son of Heaven. The Great Sun Heart Sutra was found by this guy hundreds of years ago when he entered an ancient ruin and found in the murals on the ancient wall. He cultivated this technique, and his battle strength increased exponentially, and his aura swallowed the 9 provinces. In the end, he established a sect and founded the Sun God Palace in the Blazing Sun Empire. The demon hero gained both fame and fortune. In this world, there are many powerful true chi techniques that ordinary martial artists do not have the opportunity to learn. They will not be passed down to the world. For example, the few major sects of the Beacon Fire Empire, each sect's most powerful technique was obtained by the sect leader of the demon hero from the secret realms and ancient ruins when he was adventuring. Basically, he will not teach it to his disciples. It is kept secret. For example, our sect leaders ate 9 great true chi. However, junior brother Xiaofan, the sect leader favors you very much. Maybe he will teach you this unprecedented 9 great true chi in the future. But your current realm and mental cultivation are not enough. Xiaofan listened with great interest, and became more and more fascinated by becoming a demon hero. Xiaofan also understood. So, in this world, demon hero was the core. If one could not become a demon hero, they were destined to be mediocre for the rest of their lives. They had no fate with endless adventures and excitement. Xiao Mingchu continued to narrate, Junior brother Xiaofan, the demon hero trial is held every 5 years. The most basic conditions to participate in the trial are, first, you must not fear the demon clan, and even desire to kill the demon clan. Second, you must be a true chi realm martial artist under the age of 30. As for the rules of the trial, it is set by the higher-ups of the Demon Hero Tower. The Demon Hero Tower is the authority that manages all the demon heroes in this world. The people who participate in the Demon Hero trial are mainly composed of 3 parts. The first is the outstanding talents recommended by the sects in the East, South, West, and West regions, as well as the outstanding rogue cultivators in the Jianghu who meet the requirements. The second is the young generation born in the ancient countries and powerful tribes in the depths of the great wilderness. The third, well, in recent years, some of the older generation of demon heroes in the demon hero domain in the central region are also trying to cultivate successors. They will select some babies from the world with extraordinary talent, and start to cultivate them from an early age. Now, these enchantresses personally cultivated by the older generation of demon heroes have also begun to appear, and all of them are extremely strong. Some of the best will participate in this year's demon hero trial, and these people are extremely terrifying. Tsk tisk. Xiaofan was shocked. Eldest senior brother, in this case, the weakest of the 3 parts of people who participate in the demon hero trial should be the young people selected by the sects in the East, South, West, and West regions, and those rogue cultivators in the Jianghu. I feel that the talents cultivated by the older generation of demon heroes in the central region are entrusted with important tasks, and that is the most dangerous part. Isn't that right? Xiao Mingchu looked slightly disdainful and dissatisfied. Those old antiques think that the 4 regions can't produce the strongest demon heroes, so they decided to cultivate a new generation of demon heroes. But fortunately, there are not too many babies selected by them, and some of them have already died in the cruel and harsh training during their growth. But those who can survive are indeed extremely dangerous people. They have received all kinds of training, and have received trial opportunities that ordinary martial artists can't imagine. Therefore, this year's Demon Hero trial is the most terrifying, difficult, and demanding one in history. It has the highest mortality rate. Junior brother Xiaohan, I have to say that you are very unlucky. You have encountered the cruelest Demon Hero trial in history. But if you can stand out, you will definitely rise in the future. Your achievements will surpass mine. Next, I will tell you some things that may happen during the Demon Hero trial. Listen carefully. Xiao Mingchu's voice became serious. I'm all ears. Xiaohan did not dare to neglect. To be continued. Chapter 126. Xiao Mingchu said solemnly. Junior brother Xiaohan, the content of the Hex Hero trial is all-inclusive. All-inclusive? Xiaohan was stunned. Senior brother, what do you mean? Xiao Mingchu said. Junior brother Xiaohan, you probably think that the Hex Hero trial is a group of contestants fighting each other and the winner is decided in the arena, right? Isn't that the case? Xiaohan became more and more confused. According to his understanding, the Hex Hero trial should indeed be a fight between the strong and the weak. It's not that simple. Xiao Mingchu's eyes flashed with a thoughtful expression. The content of each Hex Hero trial is different. This is a high-level secret of the Hex Hero Tower. The content can't be leaked in advance. However, according to the situation of the previous competitions, Fighting Spirit, Battle of Courage, forming a team to hunt and kill a high-rank demon general, maze, breakthrough, disguise, arena competition, death game, survival in the desolate wasteland, there were too many contents in the competition. It doesn't mean that you will survive if you have a strong combat power or a high cultivation level. Sometimes you need to rely on your brain. Of course, there's also luck. Junior brother Xiaohan, you have to know that after becoming a Hex Hero, your main responsibility is to hunt down demons. This requires a Hex Hero to have very strong judgment, wisdom, analytical ability, and deduction ability. So, in the Hex Hero trial, these aspects will also be taken into account. Xiaohan was speechless. I remember that the Hex Hero trial I participated in lasted as long as a year. There were layers of checkpoints, natural selection, rounds of elimination, and there would be people dying in each round. In the last round, there were 800 people left and they entered a virtual space created by a powerful person. It was a maze, and the slightest mistake could lead to one's death. It was also filled with all kinds of spiritual illusions and demons disguised as participants. I was very lucky to be able to find one of the few ways to survive in such a huge maze. Xiao Mingchu's face revealed an expression of lingering fear. After a pause, he continued. I talked to junior brother Dongfang Qin. The last round of his Hex Hero trial was to enter a demon town and hunt down demons within a specified time. The contestants also fought and killed each other, and finally, the contestants collected the most demon corpses. The one with the most wins, and the last round of junior brother Fong Ling's batch was relatively simple. It was an arena battle. Xiaofan understood. The content of each hex trial was different. Therefore, it was not very meaningful to spend energy to collect information about previous competitions. Junior brother Xiaofan, you have to remember that it's good to have allies in the hex trial. In reality, some of the contestants did not have the strength to win alone. However, they had found the right ally, which was why they stood out. Roping in allies that were helpful to him was also a way of survival. But I have to warn you, do not easily trust any of the participants. The Hex Hero preliminaries were very cruel. Seriously speaking, all the contestants were competitors. There was a price to be paid for rashly allying with others. There were many who would stab others in the back, stepping on the corpses of their allies at the critical moment. This is very scary, Xiao Mingchu warned earnestly. Yes, eldest senior brother. I understand now. If there were no special circumstances, would definitely not look for allies. Between life and death, perhaps no one else could be relied on other than oneself. I wouldn't dare to expose my back to anyone. Xiaofan agreed. Also, you must know how to conceal your strength. Don't expose all your trump cards at the beginning of the competition. However, I believe that it's extremely easy for you to do this. You have a special skill that can hide your aura and power, which will make people think that you are a rookie and let down their guard. This is very beneficial for you, Xiao Mingchu laughed. Also, you know some demon techniques, but don't use them easily unless it's a critical moment. Otherwise, you will become the target of covetous and besieged. Xiao Mingchu looked at the night sky leisurely and murmured, in this hex trial, it is said that the death rate will reach 90%. Those who can survive are the elites of the elites. I don't know if junior brother Xiaofan will have the last laugh. In short, it could only be summed up in one sentence, by fair means or foul. In the hex trial, in order to survive, you must do whatever it takes. Also, you must be as calm as a rock and have sharp judgment. Well, junior brother Xiaofan, go and practice by yourself. Before returning to the southern region, I will try to tell you some of my experiences. I hope it will help you. Yes, senior brother. After saying goodbye to Xiao Mingchu, Xiaofan left the ancient village alone and went to the area outside the ancient village where he could sense the true acupuncture point. Under the cool and bright moonlight, Xiaofan sat cross-legged. It seems that the hex trial is more difficult than I thought. I must hurry up and practice. No matter what, the stronger I am, the greater the chance of survival. Sometimes, luck also belongs to the strong. If I am not strong enough, even if I am lucky, I will not be able to grasp it. Xiaofan began to practice the various martial arts skills deduced in the light cocoon. First was the 51 to 60 movements of the indestructible golden body. These 10 movements were very complicated. Every movement was beyond common sense. Moreover, it involved the arrangement and use of the bone texts. Xiaofan spent a full 5 days before he was able to master these 10 movements. The surface of Xiaofan's body was glistening with a golden light, and rays of light bloomed. Mysterious and cryptic bone inscriptions were like clear streams flowing in the treasure light. Magical. The 51 to 60 movements of the indestructible golden body can reflect 10% of the enemy's attack when receiving an enemy's attack, causing damage to the enemy. The 41 to 50 movements of the indestructible golden body were to directly absorb a part of the enemy's attack and forcibly transform it into golden light and the power of the body. And the 51 to 60 movements were to absorb a part of the enemy's attack and transform it into the power of the body while also reflecting 10% of the enemy's attack. It was a bit like giving the enemy a taste of their own medicine. Great! The more I practice the indestructible golden body, the more interesting it becomes. The more I practice, the more magical it becomes. Reflecting attacks. I am afraid that most of the body-refining martial arts in the world cannot do this, right? Xiaofan was extremely excited. He practiced these 10 movements diligently and relentlessly. 5 days later, Xiaofan began to practice the follow-up martial arts of the Son of Heaven's Divine Fist. The 6th movement of the Son of Heaven's Divine Fist, Broken Rivers and Mountains. This movement turned out to be a true Qi cultivation technique. Using the first 5 movements, Sovereign's Descent, the Emperor's Robe, the Emperor's Wrath, the Emperor's Death, and the momentum created was directly broken. A type of true Qi fragment was formed in the true acupoint. In order to practice this movement, Broken Rivers and Mountains, Xiaofan first succeeded in practicing the second revolution of the 9 revolutions divine art. The second revolution of the 9 revolutions divine art opened the second wave of virtual true acupoints. It allowed Xiaofan to give up the spirit turtle true Qi and the hornless dragon profound ice true Qi to cultivate a third type of true Qi. In 3 days, he cultivated the second wave of virtual true acupoints. Xiaofan transferred the spirit turtle true Qi and profound ice true Qi that filled his true acupoints to the virtual true acupoints. The 28 true acupoints in his body were now empty. The momentum of the Sovereign's Descent, shatter. The momentum of the Emperor's Robe, shatter. The momentum of the Emperor's Battle, shatter. The momentum of the Emperor's Wrath, shatter. The momentum of the Emperor's Death, shatter. In Xiaohan's true meridian, the fragmented energy formed mottled fragments of true Qi, which looked almost hideous. Xiaofan placed a few dozen supreme-grade true Qi spirit stones into his true acupoints and completely fused them with the true Qi fragment. A few days later, Xiaohan's 28 true acupoints were filled with fragments of light. They were extremely resplendent and colorful. They were like gems, like stars, like amber and agate. They were pure and extremely condensed. Moreover, the aura contained in these true Qi fragments possessed a kind of nobility that looked down on the world. It was cold and inviolable. It was the aura of a king. However, the true Qi fragments could not be used in battle for now. These true Qi fragments were formed from the momentum of the Emperor contained in the few forms of the Emperor's divine fist that I have practiced. They have also devoured a large number of supreme-grade true Qi spirit stones, making them as bright as the stars. The quality of these true Qi fragments is extremely high, far surpassing the spirit turtle true Qi and the hornless dragon profound ice true Qi. Moreover, they have traces and a taste of fusion. However, I have no idea what the true Qi fragments can produce from the fusion. Perhaps I will only find out after I practice the 7th form of the Emperor's Divine Fist, which is also the last form. Whatever, let's not worry about this for now. Xiaofan moved the true Qi fragments into the virtual true acupoints and converted the hornless dragon profound ice true Qi. Roar! The 28 5-pointed star true acupoints in Xiaohan's body emitted tens of thousands of icy lights. The cold light lingered and froze hundreds of miles away. In the next moment, a giant hornless dragon that was more than 100 feet long appeared. It breathed clouds and breathed out mist. Its entire body was wrapped in thick frost and the temperature in all directions suddenly dropped. Puff! He spat out a mouthful of icy cold air, and the sound of glass shattering could be heard in the air. A large area of air was frozen and cracked, and ice crystals sprinkled down like a dense rain. Now that I have opened 28 true acupoints and transformed into a hornless dragon, the coldness and attack power are many times stronger than before. This hornless dragon profound ice true chi was discovered by senior brother Dongfang Qin in an ancient site. Its quality is very high. In fact, it is not inferior to the devil hero Nangong Ye's burning heaven great chi. In fact, it is even better. Xiaofan released the hornless dragon and circled around. The sky began to snow, causing the area dozens of miles away from the ancient village to be covered in ice. This was the most enjoyable moment. The hornless dragon disintegrated into icy lights and entered Xiaofan's true acupoints. He practiced his saber art for a while before returning to the ancient village with a clear mind. A full month later, Xiao Mingchu brought Xiaofan and was about to leave the ancient village. 17. You two stay in the ancient village for now. If I become a devil hero, I will immediately come to pick you up. Xiaofan smiled and said to Princess Mo Hen. Princess Mo Hen was reluctant to leave. In the ancient village, she had stayed with Xiaofan for nearly 2 years. They were together day and night, and they were intimate with each other. She would often feed Xiaofan with her own hands. At this moment, she had already secretly pledged her heart to Xiaofan. Her feelings were deeply rooted, and she was completely devoted to him. She really could not bear to leave Xiaofan for even a moment. However, she also did not want to be tied down by Xiaofan's side and affect his participation in the devil hero selection. Thus, she could only let Xiaofan leave the village. Alright, you two will stay in the ancient village. Originally, I only planned to let you stay for 2 years. However, the people of the ancient village seem to get along well with you. They have also built up a relationship with you too. Thus, I will allow you to continue to stay. Xiao Mingchu smiled. Although the ancient village is desolate, there is no worldly intrigue. It is a secluded paradise. You two can stay in peace. If Xiaofan becomes a devil hero, he will have enough ability to settle you too. Alright, junior brother Xiaofan, let's return to the southern region. I have not returned to the Pure Rain sect for many years. I also miss the Pure Rain mountain range, the sect leader, and all the junior brothers. Ha ha ha. Yes. Eldest senior brother, I also can't wait. I am eager to return. Let's go. Chapter 127. After settling Princess Mo Hen and the other family members, Xiaofan bid farewell to the people of the ancient village. After living in the ancient village for nearly 2 years, Xiaofan had established a deep relationship with the villagers. They parted reluctantly. I'll be back. Xiaofan rubbed the heads of the kids and left the ancient village with Xiao Mingchu. The villagers sent him far away like a swarm of bees. The little wimps were all crying with tears in their eyes. Princess Mo Hen also held back her tears. Outside the great wilderness, Xiao Mingchu's body emitted an endless amount of divine light and light, transforming into a divine bird that was dozens of acres in size. 5-colored divine light swirled around it, emitting an aura that made the heaven and earth tremble. Xiaofan and Xiao Mingchu boarded the divine bird. Xiaofan, you must become a vigilante. Mo Hen will wait for you here day and night. On the ground, Princess Mo Hen summoned up her courage and shouted. Finally, the divine bird transformed into a beam of divine light and traveled thousands of miles in an instant. Junior brother Xiaofan, that princess seems to be interested in you, hee hee. Xiao Mingchu winked at Xiaofan. What do you think? The princess is as pure as ice and as clean as jade. She is as beautiful as a fairy. I don't believe that you won't be moved by her. Xiaofan smiled embarrassedly and avoided answering. I still have a pair of sisters waiting for me in the Valley of the Medicine Masters. Lan Shirong and Jing Yanxue. Eldest senior brother, the most important thing right now is to become a hero. I will never forget the bet between eldest senior brother and the great son of heaven. Xiaofan said excitedly. How can I let eldest senior brother lose to a hypocrite like the great son of heaven? Ha ha ha. It doesn't matter. Junior brother Xiaofan, remember, you're only a teenager. Even if you can't win this year's Devil Hero trial, you'll still be able to win. Become the evil hero. He had to try his best to survive. You have every chance to participate in the next tournament. The bet between me and the crown prince of the Great Sun Dynasty. It's not worth mentioning. Xiao Mingchu smiled casually, extremely carefree and calm. The speed of the divine bird was extremely fast, several times faster than the speed of sound. In about 10 days, it would be able to return to the southern region and the Cloud sect. Alright, junior brother Xiaofan, I'm going to sleep for a while. Xiao Mingchu fell asleep immediately and started snoring not long after. Xiaofan was speechless. He sat cross-legged and quietly nurtured his genuine qi. He visualized the movements of the indestructible golden body and refined his saber will. The Southern Region. Proud Sun Empire. The Solar Divine Palace was located at the peak of the lava of the volcano. The protection of the gods. The sun shone. A golden-robed young man with a face as hard as a rock stood with his hands clasped behind his back. A blazing sun floated above his head as he sat cross-legged with his eyes closed. His aura swept across the land and swallowed the 9 provinces. When his eyes opened and closed, a blazing golden light burst out. Melting gold and iron, ruling all living things. It was the son of the sun, Hong. Suddenly, a golden-haired youth walked out of the tumbling magma. His tall figure was like a jade, the ends of his hair still burning with raging flames. His white clothes were like snow, surging with divine flames. His eyes were also golden, with a kind of natural arrogance and indifference. It was as if he didn't place anyone in his eyes. He was proud and aloof, and his temperament was like that of a god that had descended to the mortal world. My disciple Huolai. Emperor of the Great Sun raised his golden eyes that were intertwined with runes and looked at the youth who was bathed in fire. His eyes burst out with a rare look of admiration. Your natural fire attribute physique is most suitable to cultivate Master's Great Sun Heart Sutra. You are only 20 years old, and you have already opened 42 acupoints, True Qi level 5. You are as monstrous and heaven-defying as I was back then. In this year's Devil Hero selection, I hope that you can rise up and become a Devil Hero. With your achievements today, in the entire Proud Sun Empire's younger generation, you are as rare as a phoenix feather and a unicorn horn. Master's years of nurturing did not go to waste. Huolai, listen up, in the selection, if you meet a youth called Xiaofan from the Fire Beacon Empire's Pure Cloud sect, you must destroy his cultivation, capture him alive, and hand him over to Master, no mistakes. Pure Cloud sect? Xiaofan. The golden-haired youth muttered. Soon after, his golden eyes were filled with a violent battle intent that was almost bloodthirsty. Master, please rest assured, if I meet that youth Xiaofan, I will make him beg for death. Ha 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 ha. Master believes in you. Good disciple. Emperor of the Great Sun laughed maniacally. A large number of volcanoes erupted, and flames engulfed the entire sky. Xiao Mingchu. In this 1 year's time, I want to see how you train Xiaofan. That Xiaofan has fallen into the Devil Dao, and will be doomed eternally. Ha 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 ha. What? Master? That Xiaofan has fallen into the Devil Dao? Ah. The golden-haired youth's aura exploded, rising steadily, and his golden eyes instantly turned scarlet red. A blazing sun rose from behind him, and in the sun, a 3-legged golden crow was hibernating. Burning mountains and boiling seas, all in a single thought. Bang! 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 The golden-haired youth's body was covered in flames, burning the volcanoes into nothingness. That's enough, Wuxia. When you were young, your village was raided by the demon clan. Your parents died in the mouths of the demon clan and were eaten alive. That's why you've spent your entire life killing the demon clan. Once the devil race is mentioned in front of you, you will be possessed and go crazy. Your battle prowess will soar. Keep your anger to yourself. Emperor of the Great Sun comforted. Southern Region. Fire Beacon Empire. Golden Throne Hall. The current emperor of Fire Beacon Empire was enraged, and the mountains and rivers changed color. Unexpected. That Xiaofan actually sneaked into the group where I married Mo Hen, killed Nangong Yi, and took Mo Hen away. What a heinous crime. Even the 9 clans. Pass my imperial decree, that Xiaofan will be included in the list of the most wanted criminals of Fire Beacon Empire forever. Issue a bounty for Xiaofan in the entire southern region. There is no longer a place for him in the heavens and earth. Also, even if you dig 3 feet into the ground, you must find Mo Hen. Southern Region. ***** Mountain Range. Ancient vines accompanied old trees, small bridges and flowing water, beautiful winding mountains, winding and circling, like a sleeping dragon. White clouds filled the air, and red mist lingered. Mountain peaks poked out of the clouds, like hibiscus coming out of the water. *****Hall. The sect master stood on the peak of the mountain with his hands behind his back, looking far away. Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling stood behind the sect master with worried expressions. Sect master, this year's Devil Hero Trial competition will begin as scheduled. Junior brother Xiaofan is now wandering around the world, I don't know where he is now. Dongfang Qin sighed. Xiaofan is a very determined young man with good luck in his life. He doesn't seem to have the fate of dying young. Fang Ling thought for a moment. I just don't know. It's been nearly 2 years. To what extent has his cultivation improved? Is it enough to participate in this year's Devil Hero Trial competition, which has the highest mortality rate and the most difficulty in history? I heard that those old antiques of Devil Hero region will also participate in this competition. The competition will be very fierce, and many young people will lose their lives. The young generation that came out of the great wilderness is not easy to deal with. It is said that in these few years, the great wilderness has a very strong luck. Its luck is very strong, and it has given birth to countless powerful youths. This time, it is like a dragon coming out of the deep sea. It will definitely stir up the mountains and rivers. Dongfang Qin also sighed. At this moment, the sect master's eyes that were full of anger suddenly shrank, and then he smiled slightly. Mingchu is back. With Xiaofan. It turns out that Xiaofan has been missing for 2 years. He was taken away by Mingchu, interesting. Eldest senior brother is back. Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling were surprised and happy. Dongfang Qin's eyes flashed with hostility, sect master. Last time in the Sunset Mountains, those foreign devil heroes were aggressive. If eldest senior brother was there, none of them would have survived. This time, eldest senior brother is back. Let's find them and kill them all. Dongfang, it has been so many years. Your murderous nature is still so strong. Restrain yourself. The sect master smiled lightly. High up in the sky of the great wilderness mountain range, a divine bird let out a bird cry, circled a few times, and then dived towards the great wilderness mountain range. Xiaofan stood up directly and looked at the great wilderness mountain range. He felt as if a lifetime had passed, and he couldn't help but roar. Great Wilderness Sect. I, Xiaofan, am back. Ha 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 ha. I, Xiaofan, am no longer running away, I am back openly. Ha 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 ha. Great Wilderness Sect. Outer Sect Mountain Peak. Ah Cho was cultivating the withered tree collection in his courtyard. After cultivating for a while, he stopped. His eyes were filled with worry as he muttered to himself. I wonder how Xiaofan is now. I heard that he is wanted by the entire country. Everyone is coveting the secrets on him. Sigh. My good brother, you must hold on. Nothing must happen to you. Suddenly. I think I heard that kid's voice. Ah Cho was stunned. He immediately jumped up and looked around, then looked at the sky. Xiao, the divine bird, flew across the sky. Xiaohan. Xiaohan, my brother, just now, was it you who shouted? Are you back? Ah Cho shouted with a trembling voice. The divine bird landed on the great wilderness mountain range. Sect Master, I haven't seen you for many years. You are still as elegant as before. Xiao Mingchu was no longer lazy and indifferent. At this moment, when he saw the sect master, his eyes were filled with respect. Mingchu, you are back. These years, your cultivation has improved a lot. Stay for a few more days and give Dongfang and Fang Ling some pointers. The sect master smiled happily. Eldest senior brother. Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling flashed over and gently hugged Xiao Mingchu. The three of them looked at each other and laughed, radiating a strong brotherly love. Eldest senior brother, you have been away from the great wilderness for so many years, but you are still the same as before. I miss eldest senior brother all the time and recall the time when eldest senior brother brought me to kill the demon emperor. Ha ha ha. Dongfang Qin was extremely excited. Then. Sect Master, Dongfang senior brother, Fang Ling senior brother, Xiaohan is back. Xiaohan laughed at the side. Good boy. Dongfang Qin directly pounced over and gave Xiaohan a bear hug. I thought that you would be surrounded by countless demon heroes and die in such a bad situation. Unexpectedly, you are still alive. Ha ha ha. Not bad, not bad. You have grown a lot taller. Fang Ling also walked over and patted Xiaohan's shoulder. Xiaohan, you are very good. At this moment, Xiaohan was using the tortoise breathing style to completely seal his strength and aura. Even the aura of the demon emperor's palm tattoo on his left arm was perfectly sealed. Thus, Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling could not see through Xiaohan's current cultivation. Xiaohan. Sect Master looked at Xiaohan with admiration. It seems that you have made a lot of progress after following Mingchu for the past 2 years. Looking at your spirit and bearing, your sharpness is restrained. Not bad. Alright, release your cultivation and let me have a look. Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling also looked at Xiaohan curiously. Yes, Sect Master. Xiaohan's mind moved slightly. In the next moment, all the sealed true acupoints were opened. Boom! Divine light radiated and 28 5-pointed stars shining with treasure light appeared from Xiaohan's body. They wandered around like a dream. It was a spectacular sight. Good boy. Peak of the 3rd level true qi. Dongfang Qin cried out involuntarily. Fang Ling's eyes also showed a strange light. Great progress. You have made tremendous progress. Ha ha ha. There is something that will surprise you even more. Alright. Junior brother Xiaohan, we are all on the same side. Don't hide it anymore. Completely release the seal on your body. Xiao Mingchu laughed. Yes. Xiaohan nodded. Gradually, an ancient aura began to spread out from Xiaohan's body. His hair fluttered without any wind. Wherever he stood, a hurricane swept up, sand and pebbles flew. His eyes were like a demon god's, tearing through the ages and thundering the 9 heavens. Kakik, Dongfang Qin's throat made an owl-like sound, but he was choked and couldn't say anything. He looked at Xiaohan with a dumbfounded expression. This is... Fang Ling's expression instantly changed. The sect master's pupils contracted. This, interesting, very interesting, bang. Xiaofan finally released all the seals on his body. A loud sound was heard and the whole mountain seemed to shake. The terrifying aura of a humanoid beast burst out from Xiaofan's body. Crack crack crack, a fake mountain a few zhang away began to crack. It was shattered by Xiaofan's aura. Ha 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 ha. Good. What a good Xiaofan. The sect master's eyes were as bright as stars. His aura changed from calm to gorgeous. Good. This time, my pure rain sect will compete with the other sects and the young generation of the great wilderness. We may not lose to them. To be continued. Chapter 128. Xiaofan completely released the seal of the tortoise breathing style, displaying the power of his flesh shell and his true acupoints, directly causing a tremor. Xidongfang Qin and Fang Ling were dumbfounded, even the calm sect master was moved. A humanoid beast. Dongfang Qin exclaimed. Xiao. Junior brother Xiaofan, you are simply a humanoid beast. The power of your flesh shell is heaven-defying. You can almost be compared with the barbarians in the depths of the great wilderness who grew up drinking precious blood. That's great. In this case, even if it's the cruelest monster hero trial, junior brother Xiaofan is still very confident to stand out. Xiaofan. A few years ago, you were still a live target that was bullied and beaten by the disciples, but now, you've improved by leaps and bounds. You are the outstanding true disciple of our pure cloud sect. The world changes, nothing can surpass this. Fang Ling sighed repeatedly. Well, Xiaofan, seal your qi. The sect master's face was full of admiration. Yes. Xiaofan was not used to showing all his trump cards on the surface. He was becoming more and more fond of concealing his strength. Shocking the world with a single brilliant feat, the mist of the tortoise breathing style spread out and sealed the 28 true acupoints. The true qi rippled without a single leak, the power of the flesh shell and the violent qi of the great wilderness were also sealed well. Moreover, now that Xiaofan's true qi realm had improved, the quantity of true acupoints and true qi had also increased. The spirit turtle true qi became more and more proficient and profound. Even the demon god palm tattoo on his left arm was sealed tightly. The sect master looked at Xiaofan's left arm deeply and said indifferently. Not bad. Even the slightly throbbing demonic qi has been perfectly sealed. Heh. Xiaofan smiled. Suddenly, he thought of something. The sect master is very powerful and seems to be able to sense the demon god palm tattoo on my left arm, but if I seal it with the spirit turtle true qi, the sect master might not be able to sense it. As for the demon egg hibernating in my heart, my current spirit turtle true qi is not enough to seal it. But the sect master did not sense it. The demon egg was hidden very well. Even a powerful figure like the sect master could not sense it. Only the demon clan had the innate ability to sense the demon egg. As long as the demon egg isn't sensed or detected, then it's all good. At least it won't be coveted by the entire world. Xiaofan knew very well that the demon egg was his most precious secret. It was even more precious than the demon Thearcha's palm tattoo. Come, Xiaofan. Ming Chu, you have been away from the sect for a long time, and I have often missed you. Come and sit with me for a while. The sect master's temperament was tranquil, and he did not put on any airs. He led Xiaofan and the others into a gazebo and sat down. Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling also sat down. A spirit crane carried an ancient tea set and steaming hot tea into the pavilion. Everyone took a cup of fragrant tea. Xiaofan took a sip of the tea and felt the fragrance filling his mouth, making him feel refreshed. Feeling extremely comfortable, Zhang Xian blurted out. Grandmaster, this is really good tea. These are tea leaves that my sect has gathered in a mystic realm. He was usually reluctant to take it out to drink. Ha ha ha. The sect master laughed heartily. The atmosphere was relaxed and harmonious. Early Ming. Have you told Xiaofan about the hex trial? The sect master took a sip of tea and asked. Yes, I have already told junior brother Xiaofan about the general situation and information. But sect master, you also know that in every hex hero tryouts, the hex hero will be the strongest. The topic is different. It has been many years since my time, and there is not much reference value. Xiao Mingchu replied. Well. The sect master smiled and looked at Xiaohan. Xiaohan, I don't know the topic of this time's test. It is a top secret in the hands of a few powerful figures of the Hex Hero Tower. However, since this Hex trial is known as the most cruel and terrible in history, it must be very difficult. Combat power, realm, wisdom, keen insight into the demon clan, even teamwork ability, temperament, many aspects will definitely be involved. Xiaohan, your cultivation is not bad, but you must not take it lightly. This time, there will be some demons cultivated by the old antiques of the Hex Hero region, and there will also be the younger generation in the depths of the wilderness. It will not be easy to deal with. I know, Xiaohan said solemnly. I will not be arrogant and conceited, nor will I belittle myself. There was some indescribable calmness in Xiaohan's temperament. He had cultivated his momentum step by step, and his mental level had reached a certain height, which was very rare. Well. The sect master nodded with satisfaction. However, the quota for this time's hex trial has been announced. Oh? The quota has been announced? Xiao Mingchu, Dongfang Qin, and Fang Ling all looked at the sect master curiously. After the selection of the preliminaries, there will be about 5,000 to 10,000 young talents who will finally enter the official Hex trial. Of course, the main venue of the Hex trial is in the Hex Hero region, but during the competition, some other venues will be involved. The sect master explained. There will be so many people participating in the official Hex trial? Xiaohan was shocked. Huh. Junior brother Xiaohan, it's only 10,000 people, which is actually not a big deal. Don't be surprised. Xiao Mingchu laughed. Junior brother Xiaohan, the Beacon Fire Empire has a population of more than 10 billion, and the Blazing Sun Empire, which is adjacent to the Beacon Fire Empire, has a population of more than 20 billion. The entire southern region has 7 empires, 27 medium-sized countries, and countless small countries. It is very difficult to count the population. But there are hundreds of billions. The western region and the northern region are very bitter and cold. The demon clan is very rampant, almost unscrupulous, and there are even demon emperors in these two regions. Therefore, even if the western region and the northern region have a territory far larger than the southern region, the total population of the two regions is definitely less than the southern region. Dongfang Qin continued. However, the total population of the western region and the northern region is more than 100 billion, which is not a problem. Moreover, the martial artists who grew up in the bitter and cold places have been tempered since young, struggling between life and death, and their combat power should not be underestimated. Fang Ling also interrupted. The most prosperous of the 4 regions is the eastern region. The eastern region is strong and prosperous, and the number of sects and population is several times that of the southern region. Xiaohan listened with his eyes wide open. This world was too big, and there were too many people. Speaking of which, the true Qi realm was a realm where one could ascend to the heavens in a single step, transcending mortality and entering sainthood. A large sect with tens of thousands of years of history, such as the Pure Rain sect, only had about 100 true disciples. Every true disciple was a treasure. But in the entire world, there were many true Qi realm experts. After all, the population was so terrifying. Junior brother Xiaohan, are you shocked? The total population of the 4 regions. That is frightening, as many as the eternal sands. But compared to the great wilderness, it is nothing. Xiao Mingchu had been in the great wilderness for many years, so he was more familiar with the situation of the great wilderness. The Great Desolation's territory is many times larger than the other four realms combined. In the great wilderness, there are tribes with tens of millions of people. They only belong to small tribes, like sesame seeds or mung beans. Which of the truly powerful ancient tribes does not rule over tens of billions of people? It is equivalent to the empires of our four regions. Not to mention the ancient countries that stand in the great wilderness. I have heard of a Java country with about 50 million years of history. Junior brother Xiaofan, guess how many people there are now? This. Xiaofan's scalp was numb. 50 million years of civilization and history. My God, this population is probably more than 100 billion? More than 1 trillion. Xiao Mingchu said with certainty. Definitely more than 1 trillion people. There are many ancient countries similar to Java country in the depths of the great wilderness. In that case, there are nearly 10,000 places in this year's Monster Hero trial. Not too much, but too little. Xiaofan finally realized what was going on. There are too many monks and not enough gruel. There are too many monks and not enough gruel. Dongfang Qin frowned. I remember that when I participated in the Monster Hero trial, there were about 50,000 people who entered the main competition. Of course. The quality was definitely not as good as this year. There was even a little guy at the first level of True Qi who participated, but he was killed in the first round. Sect Master, these places are allocated. How are they allocated? Fang Ling asked. The Sect Master nodded. 5,000 10,000 people participated in the official Monster Hero trial. But the number of people who signed up was far more than that. So before the main competition, there will be qualifiers. Compete for the main competition places. A total of 2,000 places were allocated in the four regions. The Monster Hero region has 100 places. The rest of the places were all won by the Great Wilderness. There are only 2,000 places in the four regions? Xiao Mingchu was astonished. The Sect Master smiled indifferently. Yes, a total of 2,000 places. Among them, the East region has a vast territory with many sects and powerful empires. It has been recognized by the Monster Hero region and occupies 3/4 of the 2,000 places. In other words, the East region has 1,500 places. The remaining 500 places will be selected from the South, West, and North regions. This is too unreasonable. Dongfang Qin said indignantly. The East region monopolizes 1,500 places, and only 500 places are allocated to the other three regions. What is this? Dongfang, don't be anxious. In fact, the top management of the Monster Hero Tower, when deciding the places, went through a lot of consideration and evaluation. Indeed, the overall power of the East region is stronger than the other three regions. Historically speaking, the number of monster heroes born in the East region is also far greater than that of the other three regions. In addition, from a mysterious point of view, the luck of the East region is superior to that of the other three regions. Perhaps, in the future, the advantage of the East region will become greater and greater. This disciple admits that the East region is indeed strong, and that the Great Wilderness has obtained more than half of the places. It is really hard to understand. In the past, there were not many places in the Great Wilderness. Dongfang Qin muttered. In the past, the countries and clans of the Great Wilderness did not have much hope for the Monster Hero trial. They did not want to send their clansmen to die. But the peak of prosperity must fall, and the peak of decline must rise. In the past 5 years, there have been many talents in the Great Wilderness, and some young geniuses have emerged like mushrooms after the rain. The sect master smiled lightly. Some people say that the luck of the entire true martial continent has gradually approached the Great Wilderness. I heard a patriarch of the Great Wilderness say that this year's Monster Hero trial is exclusive to the children of the Great Wilderness. The younger generation of the Great Wilderness will monopolize all the winning places. Ha ha ha. Sect Master, this is too arrogant. Looking at our 4 regions as if nothing. Fong Ling said proudly, the barbarians of the Great Wilderness are indeed tyrannical, but their perception and use of true chi cultivation methods are not necessarily better than the people of our 4 regions. They are all monsters with simple brains and developed limbs. Dongfang Qin said disdainfully. Oh, for the time being, let's not comment on this. In short, there are too many people in the Great Wilderness. It is not surprising to give them the majority of the places. The sect master said lightly. Now, let's get to the point. The number of places allocated to the South region, North region, and West region is 500. Among them, the North region and the West region each occupy 100 places. The entire South region occupies 300 places. In other words, the South region has 7 empires, 27 medium-sized countries, countless small countries, and hundreds of sections. The various royal families and rogue cultivators of the Jianghu have at least tens of thousands of people who meet the conditions to compete for 300 places. This is the qualifier. Xiaofan, do you have the confidence to compete for one of the 300 places? The sect master looked at Xiaofan with a smile. Sect master, this is just the qualifier. If this disciple does not have the confidence, how can I talk about the main competition? Xiaofan was very calm. He listened to the sect master, Xiao Mingchu, and Dongfang Qin. After the conversation between Fong Ling and Fong Ling, he was a little surprised, but definitely not afraid. Instead, his fighting spirit was rising and he was ready to make a move. The qualifier should not be a problem for junior brother Xiaofan. Get a place in the main competition. It is almost a done deal. Xiao Mingchu said seriously. However, only 10,000 people will enter the main competition. After passing the qualifier, the 10,000 geniuses will be born. They must be abnormal and cannot be measured by common sense. It is no exaggeration. Almost all the 10,000 contestants are geniuses. There will be no weaklings. This year's Hex qualifier is very valuable. Fong Ling said concisely. Then let junior brother Xiaofan warm up first. Participate in the qualifier. Dongfang Qin was also interested. Junior brother Xiaofan, in the South region qualifier. You will definitely shine. But remember to hold back, don't use all your trump cards. Thank you for the reminder, senior brother Dongfang. I understand. Xiaofan smiled. Well, Xiaofan, in this year's Hex qualifier. Our Pure Cloud sect, apart from you. There were also 2 other true disciples participating in the battle. They are 28-year-old Han Shuitang and 24-year-old female disciple Huiyang. The 3 of you will represent Pure Cloud sect and participate in the South region qualifier first. The sect master said seriously. Xiaofan, listen, I don't expect all 3 of you to pass the qualifier and get a place in the main competition. But you have to work hard. Spread the name of Pure Cloud sect. As for Han Shuitang and Huiyang, they are both rebellious true disciples and geniuses. They have been practicing outside for years and have always had the upper hand. They have never suffered any setbacks, so it is inevitable that they are a little narcissistic. Xiaofan, you don't have to be friends with them, but don't stoop to their level. Do you understand? I still think the most highly of you, Xiaofan. Yes, sect master, I understand. Xiaofan nodded. He thought for a moment. Sect master, I will try not to hurt my fellow disciples. But I am a living target. Many disciples look down on me. If someone insults me again and again, I can't guarantee that I will be calm. This. You decide and weigh it yourself. I will not restrict you. But it is best not to kill your fellow disciples. The sect master smiled lightly. There is nothing wrong with the physical body realm, but the true disciples should not kill each other. There will be one less true disciple dead. Above the pure cloud mountain range, a man sat cross-legged in a cloud. He had dark skin, sharp eyebrows, and a wide mouth. There was a sharpness in his eyes, as if he wanted to control everything. Light surged around him, and yellow sand swirled around him. These were not ordinary grains of sand. Each grain of sand weighed 1,000 pounds. A young man in a snow-white robe stood there as he spoke non-stop. Junior Brother Han, you are the most talented person among the younger generation of our Pure Cloud sect. This time, you will represent Pure Cloud sect in the Hex Hero qualifier. There is no doubt that you will pass the qualifier and get a place in the main competition. Heh. Junior Martial Brother Han, your current achievements are all because of your saber and spear. You are not like someone who deceives the world and relies on flattery to gain the trust of the sect master and eldest martial brother. The white-robed man was Ziyu. Oh. Senior Brother Ziyu, who are you talking about? The man sitting cross-legged frowned slightly. Who else could it be other than Xiaofan? Ziyu licked his lips. Junior Brother Han, this Xiaofan is a despicable person who has achieved success. He is rebellious and has some extremely important secrets. Also, the royal family of the Beacon Fire Empire has issued a bounty for Xiaofan's capture. This. Junior Brother Han. The two of them whispered to each other in the clouds. I don't care what secrets he has, and I will not care about the Empire's bounty. The man sitting cross-legged waved his hand. However, I am already 28 years old. I cannot miss this year's Hex Hero qualifier. Otherwise, I will not have the chance to become a Hex Hero. I will regret it for the rest of my life. It is inevitable that I will get a place in the main competition. All of his competitors had to be eliminated, including my fellow disciples. That Xiaofan should keep a low profile and not jump around in front of me. That is fine, and I will not care about him. If he wants to rely on his connections and flattery to suppress me, then I will not tolerate him. In this world, strength is the most important thing. Flattery, and flattery to the sect master and eldest senior brother are not enough to get ahead. He is just a small fry. Senior Brother Ziyu, there is no need to say more. P.S. Thank you, He Meng, for your rewards and encouragement. Also thank you, brothers, for your support. Now, my monthly votes have exceeded 500, and I also owe some updates. Last night, He Meng's reward, I will add 3 chapters. In short, I will do my best to add on the basis of 2 chapters a day. This month, I will strive to make up for all the chapters 10. Let everyone enjoy watching. Chapter 129. Ziyu and Han Shuetang continued to talk in the clouds. Peiamei's sinister plot was brewing in Ziyu's eyes as he incited Han Shuetang to make a move and teach Xiaofan a ruthless lesson and humiliation. This Han Shuetang was not very old, only 28 years old, but he was a genius. His cultivation was a level higher than Ziyu's, and he had been training outside all year round, so his battle strength was not bad. In fact, in a sand ruin in the western regions, he discovered an extremely powerful true Qi divine art, the 10,000 miles yellow sand art. It refined the origin true Qi into yellow sand. Each grain of yellow sand weighed 500 kilograms, and when a single grain of sand was thrown out, corpses would be buried for thousands of miles. It was no trivial matter. Among the 93 true disciples of the Pure Rain sect, Han Shuetang's attack power could be ranked above average. He was proud and arrogant, and he was determined to win the Hex Hero trial. However, Han Shuetang did not seem to be keen on taking the initiative to suppress Xiaofan. A proud and aloof person like him would never be manipulated by you. This Han Shuitang is really stubborn. Humph. Ziyu was dissatisfied. However, he didn't dare to act out. He just kept criticizing Xiao Han in Han Shuitang's ears, vilifying Xiao Han, in the Hall of Love. Alright, Xiao Han, go and prepare yourself. You can rest in peace for a few days and clear your mind. The Southern Territory preliminaries were held in the Blazing Sun Empire. By now, numerous sects and sects of the Southern Domain, enchanting beauties of the imperial family, and rogue cultivators of the Jianghu were all rushing toward the Empire of the Blazing Sun. I will personally bring you there. The sect master smiled and said. Blazing Sun Empire? Xiao Han frowned slightly. The Great Sun Son of Heaven is the famous Fiend hero of the Blazing Sun Empire. When I was at the borders of the Blazing Sun Empire, I was once surrounded by the Great Sun Son of Heaven. I'm afraid. It's fine. This time, I will accompany you to participate in the qualifiers. The Great Sun Son of Heaven wouldn't dare to mess around. The sect master laughed. Junior brother Xiao Han, I'll be watching the preliminaries as well. No matter what happens, the entire Pure Cloud sect will support you. You just have to give it your all and get into the main competition. Xiao Mingchu yawned. Alright. Xiao Han nodded. Suddenly, he thought of something and his face turned slightly red. Sect Master, I wish to make a trip to the Valley of the Medicine Masters. Oh? The Sect Master was stunned. Junior brother Xiao Han, why did you go to Medicine King Valley for no reason? Xiao Mingchu asked with a smile. Xiao Han was getting more and more embarrassed as he mumbled. There are some personal matters. Ha 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 ha. Dongfang Qin, who was standing at the side, laughed out loud. Junior brother, I'm afraid it's something between a man and a woman, right? Ha ha ha. Tell me, which female disciple of the Medicine King Valley caught your eye? This. Xiao Han's face turned red. Xiao Han. Martial artists did not bother with trifles. Go ahead. The sect leader smiled. Xiao Han gritted his teeth and said. Sect master, senior brothers, these are two female outer court disciples of Medicine King's Valley. He and Xiao Han were fated to meet before. The two female disciples who went to the Setting Sun Mountain Range last time were forced to marry into the Beacon Fire Empire's royal family. Later on, the two true Qi realm experts of Medicine King Valley agreed to give me 2 years. Within these 2 years, they would not marry Shirong and Yanxue into the royal family, giving me some face. Now, 2 years had passed. I am afraid that something will go wrong. I do not want Shirong and Yanxue to marry into the royal family, they are not willing. Shirong? Yanxue? The name is excellent. The sect master looked at Xiao Han with a smile that was not a smile. She should be a very beautiful woman. It's passable. Xiao Han chuckled. Good Xiao Han, flirting everywhere. Ha ha ha. Xiao Mingchu joked. Little Princess Mo Hen is waiting for you in the ancient village. There is also a female disciple of Mingjian Villa in the Xiao family, I have seen her. Fang Ling also interrupted. Xiao Han, it seems that you have not only advanced by leaps and bounds in martial Dao, but also in other aspects. Not bad at all. Well, Xiao Han. You don't have to go to Medicine King Valley. Rest well. Medicine King Valley is also participating in this year's qualifier. Old Man Gong's son will personally bring his disciples to participate. At that time, I will arrange this marriage for you. The sect master smiled. Xiao Han, don't worry. I still have some face. However, Medicine King Valley has a great advantage in this matter. 2 female disciples of the outer sect will be matched with the youngest true Qi realm martial artist of our Pure Cloud sect, the future evil hero. Old man Gong's son will wake up laughing even when he is asleep. The sect master also joked. Ha 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 ha. Xiao Mingchu, Dongfang Qin, and Fang Ling laughed at the same time. Xiaofan was embarrassed and expectant at the same time. When he thought of Jing Yanxue and Lan Shirong, he felt sweet and indescribably comfortable. All right, you can all leave. The sect master smiled and waved his hand. Xiaohan, Xiao Mingchu, Dongfang Qin, and Fang Ling left the Pure Cloud Palace while talking and laughing. The four of them flew to another mountain peak adjacent to the Pure Cloud Peak and were about to go their separate ways. At this time, high up in the sky, amidst the clouds and mist, Xiaohan is back. Ziyu glanced around and immediately found Xiaohan. He is still alive after being wanted by the whole country. What a good luck. However, in the past 2 years, his cultivation did not improve at all. A mediocre person will always be mediocre. Humph. Back then, this kid was lucky and had a fortuitous encounter. He was infused with vital energy by the ancient people. When he returned to the sect, he cheated and killed Xue Jianfeng. If Xue Jianfeng did not die, he would have reached the true Qi realm today. He would not be worse than Xiao Han. Xue Jianfeng was a genius who had comprehended sword intent. Once he stepped into the true Qi realm, he would have a bright future. He might even have a chance to participate in the Hex Hero trial. But he died in the hands of Xiao Han. Hateful. 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 He said, hateful, 3 times. Ziyu was enraged to the extreme. He was gnashing his teeth in anger. Xue Jianfeng was Ziyu's trusted aide. He had spent a lot of effort to cultivate him. He was about to reach the true Qi realm, but he was killed by Xiao Han. All his efforts were in vain. Ziyu could not swallow this anger and swore to take revenge. A super genius died early. A bootlicker is actually alive and kicking here. It's really unfair. Ziyu's face was completely gloomy. Look, junior brother Han. That's Xiao Han. He's walking with eldest senior brother and the rest. His aura is ordinary. I don't know how he managed to win over eldest senior brother, second senior brother and third senior brother. He's a complete villain. Oh. Han Shuitang, who was sitting cross-legged on the clouds. With a sweep of his divine telekinesis, he immediately saw through Xiao Han's condition. His expression changed instantly. This is Xiao Han. A complete good-for-nothing. A mediocre talent. Such a person is representing the Pure Cloud sect in the Hex Hero trial? Ridiculous. I heard from the sect leader that there are 3 people representing the Pure Cloud sect in the Southern Region qualifier. Besides she, there's also Hua Di. Hua Di is also quite a character. His battle strength is almost on par with mine. Who is the last one? Could it be this Xiao Han? How can such a mediocre person be on my team? Yes. He's just a mediocre person. Ziyu looked at Han Shuitang's expression and saw that she was furious. He was overjoyed. He egged him on. Let's go, junior brother Han. Let's go find him. With that, Ziyu's body glowed and he turned into a fire dragon, charging down. Han Shuitang's body moved slightly. Yellow sand spread for thousands of miles. Like rolling thunder, it also rushed down. Eldest senior brother Dongfang, senior brother Fang. Then this little brother will temporarily part ways with the 3 big brothers. This little brother is going to make a trip to the outer sect mountain peak. My brother, Cho, is an outer sect disciple of the Pure Cloud sect. I haven't met up with senior brother Cho in a long time. I miss him a lot. I'll take this opportunity to play with senior brother Cho. Xiao Han looked relaxed. He's participating in the Southern Region qualifier to compete for a place in the Hex Hero trial. Dongfang Qin explained. Immediately, Dongfang Qin said sternly. Junior brother Han Shuitang. You're usually arrogant and unruly. That's fine, but you're disrespectful to our eldest senior brother. Do you really think that you're someone important? Alright, Dongfang, don't question him. Young people with some talent will naturally be frivolous. I was like that back then too. However, you need to have the capital to be arrogant. Xiao Mingchu's aura was not fierce. He looked at Han Shuitang lazily for a moment, then shook his head and sighed. Han Shuitang's expression changed slightly as he cupped his hands. Eldest senior brother, second senior brother, third senior brother, you're all Hex heroes with higher cultivation and combat strength than me. I respect you three senior brothers very much. However, the true age of the three senior brothers is already over 100 years old, and this little brother is only 28 years old. Speaking of which, the three senior brothers must not be angry. If this little brother had also cultivated to 100 years old, I might not necessarily lose to the three senior brothers. Sigh. I've been away from the sect for more than 10 years. I didn't expect that our Pure Rain sect would have such a character. Ha ha ha. There wasn't such an arrogant disciple in the past. Xiao Mingchu's eyes finally flashed with anger. He patted Xiao Han's shoulder. Xiao Han, I'm a little unhappy now. Do as you see fit. Eldest senior brother, but... Sect Master said that harmony is the most important between true disciples. This. Xiao Han deliberately sighed. Xiao Han, I'm old. It's not right to fight with this kind of junior brother. You, Xiao Han, are different. You're only a teenager and are of the same generation as them. Xiao Mingchu hugged Xiao Han's shoulder and whispered. Beat them up. Beat them to death or cripple them. If Sect Master asks, I'll take the blame for you. Xiao Han laughed involuntarily. It seemed that eldest senior brother was really angry today. What kind of person was eldest senior brother? He sealed the demon emperor for 10 years with a single arrow and made the great son of heaven, a super demon, scram. If such a person was angry, the consequences would be very serious. Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling looked at each other and laughed. Eldest senior brother's personality is indeed much gentler now. If it was more than 10 years ago, I'm afraid someone would have already seen blood. Dongfang Qin muttered. This Han Shuitang is very cunning. He first used words to mock us, saying that we're 100 years old so that we won't bully the young. Fang Ling's eyelids twitched slightly. That. Xiao Han took a step forward. Senior brother Ziyu, right? This is senior brother Han, right? We're all true disciples of the Pure Rain sect. Harmony is the most important. Xiao Han. You shut up. You're just a bootlicker. If it wasn't for Sect Master protecting you, you would have died in the Sunset Mountain Range. Someone like you dares to speak out? Oh, I saw that you came back with eldest senior brother. I know, you've been relying on eldest senior brother for the past 2 years. That's why you have the chance to be alive and kicking here. If it wasn't for eldest senior brother, your bones would have turned cold. Ziyu said sternly. Han Shuitang sneered. Xiao Han, you're also going to participate in the Southern Region qualifier? Yes, I want to go too. There's also senior sister Hua with senior brother Han, right? Xiao Han smiled innocently. You don't have to go. It'll be embarrassing if you go. Han Shuitang waved his hand. Go to the qualifier and fight against the geniuses of other sections. Swords have no eyes. At that time, Sect Master and eldest senior brother won't stand up for you. That's true. Xiao Han nodded seriously and immediately frowned. Senior brother Han, Your aura is very sharp and your character is arrogant. It's fine if you insult me, Xiaofan, but how dare you jump around in front of eldest senior brother? You're courting death, do you know that? Eldest senior brother, you said that you'll help me, right? Xiaofan turned to look at Xiao Mingchu. Of course. Xiao Mingchu said impatiently. Clean up. Cripple them for me. Xiaofan nodded. He then said sternly. Kneel down now and apologize to eldest senior brother. Behave yourself in the Pure Rain sect. What genius. *T. I'll crush you with one hand. Do you believe me? If it wasn't for Sect Master's reminder, do you think you can still stand here and talk? You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.